hospitals to help patients. Answering a shouted question about the hospitals in Gaza, President Biden telling reporters he hoped for less intrusive action from the Israeli military. Renewed rocket fire from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel.
It's the first that we've seen in a while. Sirens sounding here, sending thousands to bomb shelters. And quite remarkable that 38 days into this conflict, the Israelis are still facing rocket fire from Gaza. There are sirens sounding in the city of Tel Aviv. That is Israel's second largest city. An indication that Hamas and Islamic Jihad still have long-range rockets that they are using against major population centers.
Fox's Trey Yingst in southern Israel. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You may want to think twice about a campfire. 64 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing in the radar. Low of 31 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Burn bans are in effect across south central Indiana. And Indiana could use some rain. But Andrew White with the National Weather Service says that probably won't happen until maybe Friday.
But that's not going to really be enough to do too much. And really the forecast even after Friday into the weekend looks fairly dry. And
White says expect temperatures around the 60s during the day and 30s tonight. A 19-year-old's in custody after the fatal shooting of a 17-year-old in Speedway early Sunday morning. The Marion County Coroner's Office says Caden Clements was shot and killed, and Benjamin Mulkey was ID'd as a suspect. Police say Mulkey lives at the home where the shooting happened, which is in the neighborhood east of IMS. Mulkey's in the Marion County Jail now. The Marion County prosecutor is reviewing formal charges. A man was recently sentenced to more than 13 years in federal prison for drug trafficking and unlawful possession of a firearm. Sam Fritz reports.
Philip Bonds of Indianapolis was sentenced to just over 13 years in federal prison on Monday, following his guilty plea to possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine. Court documents say that Bonds had sold methamphetamine to at least one other individual between April and May of 2023. Police raided his home in May, finding several more drugs and guns. Bonds was prohibited from possessing firearms due to 3 previous felony convictions. Following his release from federal prison, Bond will also serve 4 years of supervised probation. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may not need to come to the Circle City to get that big city experience, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business. He says places like Carmel, Westfield, and Noblesville want to become their own entertainment hubs.
You know, Fishers has an arena that's under construction that will be home to the Indy Fuel and to the new indoor football league that has been around for a number of years.
Dick on WIBC's Tony Katz. The Colts have won half of their 10 games this season and are undefeated when they play in Germany. They beat the Patriots 10-6 Sunday. Running back Jonathan Taylor scored the game's only touchdown.
Anytime you have a stretch of football, it's always a plus when you have a week to kind of mentally decompress, but also physically decompress.
The Colts have this week off. They play Tampa Bay next Sunday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate painting year after year, do what your neighbor Edwina did. She called Rhino Shield.
Over the years, I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
And Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating, better than paint.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster, but Rhino Shield was right on it.
Our 25% off special has been extended through November. Plus, receive a free TV up to 75 inches just by having your job done by spring of 2024.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Remember, you have until the end of November to receive 25% off. Plus, get your job done by spring of 2024 and receive a free TV. Restrictions apply. Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic at 3:05, here's Tom Gaines.
Afternoon, 465 northbound, a little slow Shadeland to 75th due to an earlier accident and construction there, of course. 69 with the left lane blocked either way for accident cleanup between 82nd and 96th. Not really seeing a delay there, though. There is a delay on State Road 37 northbound between Epler and 465. Other than that, no delays or accidents to report so far. This report brought to you by Bob Evans Restaurants. When you gather together this year, let Bob Evans give you more time to celebrate with a premium farmhouse feast. Just heat, serve, and enjoy. Order yours now at bobevans.com. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and mild on this Monday. We'll get up to about 63 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear and chilly. Lows will fall to 34. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
Well, Hammer, I got bad news for you. Maybe it's good news. I don't know. You're about to pay a lot of money for a safer downtown and a cleaner downtown.
To quote Ron Burgundy, I don't believe you.
Yeah, Indianapolis Council is proposing this downtown fee. They're calling it a fee for every resident and business downtown and within the mile square. I don't know if this is for all of Marion County or just, the mile square. For an increased safety, cleanliness, and homeless outreach. It's not a tax.
No.
It's a fee.
A fee. That makes you feel a little bit better, doesn't it? You're still paying the same amount of money, but it's not a tax. It's a fee. So this is going down tonight at the City County Council meeting. The council is moving forward with this plan to create an economic enhancement district downtown. And in order to do that, they need a clean downtown and they need a safe downtown. So this new fee will appear on property tax bills. Residential property will be charged a $250 annual fee.
Hello. A lot of these services that they're talking about here have been being paid for by the city from federal pandemic relief dollars, but yeah, those are going away.
Right.
So the city county council is looking around at each other is like, fee.
Sure.
Yeah, let's make everybody pay for it.
If you own something in Marion County, I don't think they'd be too upset about paying an extra $250 annually.
How do you feel about that as a Marion County resident?
Well, Nigel, it sucks. And when I say that it sucks, I mean it really sucks because, look, I'm in favor of a clean downtown. Do I want a safe downtown? Yes. Been talking about that for years. Would I like to see less homeless, aggressive panhandlers, drug users? Yes. Limit them all. But you're telling me that you just finished the budget process and the only way that you could make this work was a $250 fee on residential property owners. You couldn't move anything else around. You couldn't cut anything else because every other business works that way. I've been in marketing before. I've had to do budgets before. And things that you want, that's fine, but you have to find the money. You have to move money around, and sometimes you have to cut things. I was told this state has a big-ass surplus, Nige. And listen, I'm a sports bettor. I know my money, when I do sports betting, not only goes to the company that's running the app, but the state also gets a cut, and it goes into the general fund. So between the big surplus and the general fund, I'm being told the only way to keep downtown clean and safe is to raise taxes? Something stinks.
But you know what else? It's like whatever they've been doing doesn't seem like it's been working over the past few years. And so now with this $250 fee, again, replacing the dollars that came with the federal pandemic relief dollars, those are going away. What exactly have they been doing to keep the mile square safe and clean?
It's gotten worse.
Homeless outreach. It seems like it to me.
I mean, the tax dollars they've been using the last couple of years, it hasn't been working, and now they're asking for more. So I'm reading a little bit more about what's going to be presented tonight. If approved, this fee, not a tax, fee would start in 2025 and would generate an estimated $5.5 million annually. The budget also included a $20 million grant for a low-barrier homeless shelter, which has fewer restrictions for entry than traditional shelters.
I love how they're charging you a fee for something they should already be doing in the first place.
Right. And they just worked on a budget. The budget was just recently completed, and this didn't cross anybody's mind. Nobody thought, hey, after the election, if this goes the way that we think it's going to, and we still have a supermajority here on the council, we are going to need to figure out a way to fix the homeless and the crime problem. Because if we're going to get into the hotel business, because for some reason the city of Indianapolis is now in the hotel business, we have to have a vibrant city. Screw the people that work there every day. This is all about business. And you didn't think about ways to move money around or even ask the state of Indiana for a little bit of a handout to get things rolling? The only way to make downtown safe and clean is a $250 tax.
No, it's a fee.
On residential property owners? This is embarrassing. This is ridiculous. The Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee, they will discuss this tonight and then on November 20th, and then the full council will vote on its final passage in December. So, listen, Republicans and Democrats, you can come to the same table tonight. You can actually agree on something. Vop Osley and Brian Mowry can actually come together and agree that cleaning up downtown and not raising taxes would be a good thing.
Ooh, Democrats don't care about not raising taxes. That's the only part of this I kind of disagree with you here. I'll push you back. Democrats love to raise taxes, even though this isn't quote unquote a tax.
It's a tax. And if I'm Vop Osley and I'm laying the groundwork to run for mayor in 4 years, after Boss Hogsett's quote-unquote final term is done, then you could be the one that puts the ads out. We were the ones that cleaned up downtown. We rescued downtown, and we did not raise your taxes. That'd be a great, strong campaign in a very blue city. And I think that your counterparts on the side, the Republicans, would also agree. You know, getting rid of some of the aggressive panhandling homeless, cleaning up a lot of the needles and poop in the street, getting it safer downtown, all good things. You just have to move some money around like any other business would. The only place where they don't move money around to fix a budget is government at the national level and at the state level. It's such a poorly ran Mickey Mouse operation, and that is what is going to be presented tonight. Nigel, late last night, we found out that South Carolina Senator, presidential candidate Tim Scott, suspending his campaign for the presidency. He did this on Trey Gowdy's Fox show. Here is former presidential candidate Tim Scott.
If you ever want to love your country more, run for president. Traveling this country, meeting people has been one of the most fantastic experiences of my entire life. I love America more today than I did on May 22nd. But when I go back to Iowa, it will not be as a presidential candidate. I am suspending my campaign. I think the voters who are the most remarkable people on the planet have been really clear that they're telling me not now, Tim. I don't think they're saying, Trey, no, but I do think they're saying not now. And so I'm going to respect the voters, and I'm going to hold on and keep working really hard and look forward to another opportunity.
And did you see Trey Gowdy's face when Tim Scott did that?
He was flummoxed.
Right.
He did not expect that at all.
No, and it sounds like from all the reports, his staff members did not expect that at all. Which, if that's the case, and again, I don't know if it's true or not, but if that's the case, that's pretty crappy on Tim Scott's behalf to do that to your staff members. You're watching on live television and you see that you no longer have a job. That sucks. Here is how Trey Gowdy responded.
You are suspending your presidential campaign. You have plenty of money. You have the highest approval numbers of any candidate that is running, and you're a couple of states away from coming to a state where you are beloved, and you are suspending your presidential campaign.
You know, Romans 8:28 is such an important scripture. It says that all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. I think the message is clear for me right now. I am indeed suspending the campaign, but I am going to remain as committed to making sure that this country chooses the right person by enjoying the journey of just helping people everywhere throughout South Carolina and through our country.
Yeah, it is kind of strange you didn't wait until at least Iowa to make that decision.
Right. Or get to your home state. If you get your doors blown off in your home state of South Carolina, ball game, right? But he did it on Trey Gowdy's show, and everybody's kind of just looking around going, what the hell just happened here?
I think you're looking at Donald Trump's vice president.
Think so.
His running mate.
Okay, I could see that. I can also see Kristi Noem because I feel like he needs help with women. And I'm just throwing this out there. Tucker Carlson.
Oh, boy.
I'm just throwing it out there. They were hanging out this weekend in New York.
I saw
checking out fights. I think he's kicking the tires on Tucker Carlson.
Pull that tinfoil hat down pretty tight there, buddy.
I'm going to pull it down over my ears, over my eyes. All right. Before we hit traffic here, it is tradition on this program when somebody steps away from the campaign or goes away, we have a very emotional Sarah McLachlan-style tribute. Here it is for Tim Scott.
But when I go back to Iowa, it will not be as a presidential candidate. I am suspending my campaign. Our family went from cotton to Congress in one lifetime. You're not black? That is the most arrogant, condescending comment I've heard in a very long time. I get called Uncle Tom and the N-word by progressives.
You don't believe in systemic racism.
So the fact of the matter is we've had an African-American president, African-American vice president. We've had 2 African-Americans to be secretaries of the state.
When he just dressed down Sonny Hostin and Joy Behar.
Was that on The View? Yeah.
On The View.
Okay.
Chef's kiss. All right, Tom Gaines has a look at the roads.
Well, good afternoon, guys. 465 northbound with a crash now just past Shadeland. Right lane is blocked. Traffic solid from Pendleton Pike. That's at least a 20-minute delay now. And still watching a delay on State Road 37 northbound between Epler and 465. Otherwise, I-65, I-70, I-74, and other roads running good now with no delays, accidents. Don't miss the B Windows Black Friday sale. Save up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer's rebates. No payments, no interest for 20 months. Visit bwindows.com for details. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
64 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center here at 93 WIBC.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Colts beat the Patriots 10-6 in Germany. My name is Nigel. That is Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
He is from 107.5 The Fan, the morning show. It's called The Wake Up Call with KB and Andy. KB is Kevin Bowen. And Kevin, I said this yesterday, as a red-blooded American, I never thought I would say these words, but maybe we owe the German people an apology. Making them sit through whatever that was yesterday. I know the Germans haven't always been on the up and up, according to history, but boy, that was some bad football yesterday.
Oh, boy, yeah. Apology, I think, is well-deserved. I would echo that statement. Who would have thought, Jonathan Taylor goes in the end zone there, midway through the first quarter, that'd be the last time that the Germans see a touchdown here in that entire game. Quite the display. I mean, the game wasn't even kicked very well. New England missed a 35-yard field goal, so even the football aspect of the American football game was not great. So ugly to say the least. But at the end of the day, I guess the Colts less ugly than the Patriots, and Bill Belichick goes home a loser.
Yeah, talk about that for a second. Talk about the Colts. 2 in a row now, going into the bye week. 500 record. I mean, that's a good thing. A win is a win, right?
Yeah, this is probably like the old golf coach, my old high school golf coach coming out here with this statement. But, he'd always say, there's no picture on the scorecard. So you simply just add up your score, and that's your score. And sure, you break down and dissect some things, but at the end of the day, that's what matters. And so, sure, at 5-5, when you pull up the NFL standings, that's what it says. Now, having said that, I think we all can agree on this, that if the Colts play like they have the last 2 games, their playoff hopes returning from the bye week will not last very long. But you can look at that one of 2 ways, that the last 2 weeks is more indicative of the football team they are and kind of water it's found its level for this season, or they can't play any worse and they'll play better returning from their bye week, and they could have a shot to push for a playoff position. But again, I think overall, just to be 5-5 at this point of the year, it's probably not what a lot of people have expected. They've taken advantage of a very favorable schedule. They've also, I think, played better football than a lot of us thought. And now we'll see what will happen during the bye week, and if they can play better football down the stretch.
Hey, do you think this is longtime coach Bill Belichick's last year for the Patriots?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think pretty much every coach would have been fired after yesterday based off some of the ineptness and the decision making within that. Hell of a run there. But if you are a Colts fan, you can just screenshot his reaction after that interception there late. And honestly, for 1 week, you might want to put that on your desk ahead of the family with how many times Belichick has ruined things for the Colts here in the past. Finally, the Colts got one on the old evil empire leader.
Now, devil's advocate here, right? He's got a pretty good relationship with Robert Kraft. What if he's gone to the old man and say, listen, we're going to get a 1 or a 2 pick in the draft because we stink this year. We're going with Bailey Zappi the rest of the way, and we're either going to get the USC quarterback or the North Carolina quarterback. Wouldn't you want Bill Belichick to groom his own young quarterback?
Gosh, I don't know. I think part of this is just you just got to start over at some point. I mean, obviously he's had an incredible career, right up there with any other in NFL history. But
thank you, Tom Brady.
You could certainly make a case for that.
Right.
I mean,
nobody said how great Belichick was when he coached the Browns, Kevin.
Right. Yeah. We don't talk about the Browns and Jets days very often there, but. When you look at it, 72 years old, how much longer does he want to do this? And really the general manager tag, I think is, he has that, tag on him in New England. I think that has been an issue as well. So do you trust him with a rebuild? Do you trust him to do something that really they haven't done there at all? And I mean, Mac Jones was a first-round pick just a few years ago. I get that he wasn't a top 5 pick, but that clearly hasn't gone well. So I think it's time to finally cut ties of what has been a rather historic run.
I thought it was fun watching the crowd at the game because the game itself stunk. But to their credit, I don't think the folks in the stadium knew they were watching horrible football because they're singing Sweet Caroline and they're doing, John Denver songs, and it seemed like they were into it.
Yeah, I thought it was a great atmosphere. It's funny. We had Stacey Dales, who does Sideline for NFL Network. She was on the call yesterday. We had her on our show last week, and she had done Chiefs Dolphins over there the week prior. And she goes, guys, it's a 50,000-seat stadium, but it is rocking. Like, this is going to be it's not going to be your typical, I think you can make an argument. There are some environments that are a bit corporate-y around the NFL in terms of the stadium atmosphere. It's going to feel like almost like a college Saturday type of game, and that's certainly what I felt through TV. We had a caller call in who was at the game yesterday and mentioned that same thing. I think over the years, the atmosphere, too, has gotten a little bit more of we understand football now. Like, I remember going over there in 2016 for the game in London, and that was cheering on fourth downs almost only. Like, it was like, oh, here's Pat McAfee out the punt. Woo! Like, they were so obsessed, again, with the soccer elements to football that they loved that. Whereas now, and again, Germany, this is their, third ever NFL game. They had one last year and then one last week and then this one. So I think there is more of a, hey, this is kind of our Super Bowl feel to it all as well. So, yeah, I'm actually a fan of the international games. I think it's great. I thought the emotion from Bernard Reimann post-game, Colt left tackle, was born in Austria, was really cool to see as well. Clearly the game meant a lot. So, the Colts have benefited from not having to give up one of their home games in any of these 50 now international games. So, I'm all for a handful of them every year.
Got about a minute left here, Kevin. I know Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, feels like he so desperately wants to have some sort of international franchise. Whether the Jags move to London or somebody moves to Germany, do you see that happening anytime soon?
Honestly, the only way I could see it is to almost have a full division over there. I just think it's so difficult to put a one-off and then logistically making that work, whether it's, guys in American base of, okay, they got to get over there on a Tuesday because there's an injury that arose, or a late week injury, or, what happens when you get in the playoffs and all of a sudden that London franchise has to go to Seattle in round one and it's potentially a short week, something like that. So I can't see it. How I break it down is this. You do, 8 international games each year, and I would look at it as, a team gives up a home game once every 4 years. You'd play internationally every other cycle in that, and again, you're only giving up a home game once every 4 years. It allows you to grow your international market, grow the game internationally. Cool experience for American fans if they want to go over there as well. So that's kind of how I view it as they try to get into other countries, probably Spain, Brazil, maybe even Australia.
Where can we get more coverage, Kevin?
Yeah, 1075thefan.com's got all of our written content, and then our morning show, The Wake Up Call, with myself, Kevin Bowen, and Andy Sweeney each Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 to 10.
Kevin, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This is John Souza, CEO of ERTC.com. The Employee Retention Tax Credit Program provides up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. If you're confused about the program, stop right now before it's too late. Don't fall for false promises and risk your business. All ERTC companies are not the same. The bottom line, there's no such thing as guaranteed eligibility, and being innovative with tax filings can lead to an audit. At ERTC.com, we won't mislead you to attest to your own eligibility. At ERTC.com, everything is done in-house by expert CPAs, and there's no cost to get started. With the ERTC.com Fast Track Refund Program, you may qualify to get your refund in as soon as 48 hours. Get started today at ERTC.com.
Get your free refund information now. 800-200-4230. 800-200-4230. That's 800-200-4230.
'93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why you can't have a fire. 64 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. No rain on the radar. Low temps to the lower 30s and partly cloudy tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:29. Burn bans are in effect for South Central Indiana. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Hoosiers can use some rain, but Andrew White of the National Weather Service says it probably won't rain until Friday.
But that's not going to really be enough to do too much. And really the forecast, even after Friday into the weekend, looks fairly dry. And
White says you can expect 60s during the day until Wednesday and 30s overnight. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
At least 6 Iranian proxy fighters have been killed from U.S. airstrikes. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says the country's doing what it should to protect its troops on Fox News.
These groups and the IRGC, the Supreme Leader, they have a choice to make. We're not looking to escalate, but if they continue to attack our troops, if they continue to put their lives in danger, we'll continue to take action to do what we have to do to protect that.
It's the third round of U.S. strikes in Syria since a few days before Halloween. President Biden sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader warning him against targeting American troops in the Middle East. Supreme Court justices are adopting a first-ever code of ethics. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
Facing increasing public pressure over undisclosed gifts and other financial benefits, justices at the Supreme Court have agreed to a lengthy code of ethics that includes standards for impropriety, recusal from cases, extrajudicial activities, and financial activities. The Senate Judiciary Committee, led by Democrat Dick Durbin, has considered passing its own ethics policy and planned subpoenas for conservative activists accused of influencing the court. A statement from the justices says the code largely represents a codification of principles that have long been regarded, but is being issued to dispel misunderstanding. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The Pacers lost to the 76ers by 11 points last night. Philadelphia guard Tyrese Maxey scored a career-high 50.
We missed blockouts. There was one particular one in the fourth with Harris, and when the game was a one-possession game, and it was a backbreaker.
Head coach Rick Carlisle on the loss. The Pacers play Philly again on the road tomorrow. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:31. We'll go to traffic with Tom Gaines.
Well, crews still working to clear a crash from 465 northbound at Fall Creek. The right lane is blocked, and it's still jammed from Pendleton Pike. Expect at least a 20-minute delay there. Solid traffic. 465 eastbound slow now from Keystone to Allisonville Road, and that's about a 3-minute delay. State Road 37 northbound is stop and go from Edgewood to 465. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Remaining mostly clear for tonight are low temperatures in the mid-30s. Tuesday, another day of a lot of sunshine. High temperatures above average, around 60. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the Gun Guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Also joining us live in studio, the Gun Guy, Guy Relford, 2A attorney, licensed firearms instructor. Guy, how are you?
Man, I'm great, and thanks as always to our sponsor for Monday Gun Day. That's Premier Arms in Brownsburg, with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest, and PA Jewelers located right in the store. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg or premierarms.com.
All right, this ATF director, what's his name? Dettelbach?
Yep.
Steve Dettelbach. How do you feel about this guy in the first place?
Well,
they were going to put somebody
They had
wackier.
a previous guy who was a complete lunatic. And he didn't even get past the Biden administration's Judiciary Committee.
He was too much of a nut for Biden.
He was too much of a nut for Biden. So he felt a little bit better about this guy. But this guy just went out last week and decides, in response to a question on an interview, says that number one thing on his wish list is a so-called assault weapons ban.
The
so here we go.
ATF director has assault weapons ban on his wish list.
Yeah.
That's quite an interesting statement for.
Yeah, just happened last week. That, again, like most of these people can't define what the hell an assault weapon is. They don't know what it is. They just know they don't like them, and they know they want to ban them. And every time Biden has a microphone in front of him anymore, he starts screaming about an assault weapon ban.
Then he usually gives us that god-awful deer and Kevlar vest joke.
Yeah, right. Followed by a creepy whisper. It's all predictable. But listen, you know what? At this point, the ATF's getting their butts kicked left and right in court, which I tried to talk about on my show to the extent that I had a show last weekend. But they're getting their butts kicked left and right on this stuff. They want to do something at ATF to try to restrict so-called assault weapons. Hey, let's tee that up. Let's go litigate it. We'll have it declared unconstitutional once and for all, and we can stop hearing about it every time one of these morons gets a microphone in front of them.
Like, ultimately, Guy, it feels like this is window dressing. And what I mean by that is Joe Biden and his administration and his cronies, they know they get a lot of checks with a lot of zeros on it from the anti-gun crowd.
Exactly.
And they know damn well that you can't do something that's going to go against the Constitution. But what they can do is put some surrogate up there, like the ATF director, and say, yep, it's on my wish list. We're going to get rid of assault weapons. And that keeps these lunatics happy, and they keep writing checks.
I think that's a big part of it. And we know that some of the, the Bloomberg groups, for instance, that have thrown massive quantities of money at Democrat candidates, including Joe Biden, are complaining. Saying, you promised you were going to do something on gun control. We just haven't seen it yet. Where is it? They know they can't get anything through Congress. So they want to do everything through legislative action and through the executive agencies. But that's where the courts have now stepped in. And whether we're talking about so-called ghost guns, whether we're talking about pistol stabilizer braces, whether we're talking about
bump stocks.
Yeah, bump stocks. We're seeing left and right where the ATF has tried to step into the shoes of Congress, notwithstanding what the Constitution says about that, which is Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution. Right after we the people, what does it say? It says all legislative power shall be vested in the Congress, period. And so where ATF says, oh, well, we don't need Congress. We'll just pass a bunch of laws ourselves that can put people in jail because we want to pass our own kind of gun control. Courts are stepping in and say, no, not so much.
And they put these scary titles on there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Assault weapons, ghost guns.
Right, yeah.
But this federal court said that ghost gun limits are unlawful.
Yeah, they just did just last Thursday. And this is in a case called Vanderstock versus Garland. It came out of the Fifth Circuit, which is the federal circuit that oversees appeals from Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi.
What is a ghost gun? Before we get into what the court said, remind everybody what a ghost gun is.
What we're talking about here are just gun parts. We're talking about, historically, I could go out and buy the different components to build my own gun and build my own gun. And when I do that, the federal law says, and the ATF has said, that I don't need to serialize that, or I don't need to register it. And as long as that's for personal use only, and that's the point, it's only for my own personal use, that's lawful. Well, because there's no requirement to put a serial number on it. Now, oh my gosh, it's unidentifiable. It's a ghost gun. But the point is, ATF has never been given any authority by Congress to regulate gun parts, only guns. And to the extent they said, well, to cut down on these ghost guns, quote unquote, we're gonna make just the parts considered firearms. And so they changed the definition of firearm that Congress wrote, that they put into the law in 1968, in the Gun Control Act of 1968. And so the courts are saying, listen, if the federal government wants to regulate these things, Congress has to pass a law, or Congress needs to change the definition of firearm, or Congress needs to regulate this. An executive agency, which is not Congress, it's part of the executive branch, doesn't have the authority to pass new laws that can put people in prison. And that's the point, and that's what the courts are finally definitely drawing a hard line on.
Every time I hear assault weapons ban, I think one of the worst mass shootings in the history of this country was like a couple of handguns were used.
Well, Virginia Tech, to this day, the worst school shooting ever was Virginia Tech, and that was 2 handguns.
And wouldn't it stand to reason at some point, if they want to ban assault weapons, what's the next step after that?
Well, see, that's
because like you just said,
they're not going to stop there. I promise you.
Well, see, no, and look, it's a declared strategy. I mean, you go to some of these groups' pages, and they're actually pretty clear about what they want to do. It's all about a war of attrition, and it's about gaining the next victory and then going on to the next issue. Because exactly to your point, Nige, if we could press a magic button and make all so-called assault weapons, however you define that, disappear off the planet. And what do the politicians say? What do the gun control proponents say? We need to stop mass shootings. We can stop mass shootings if we just ban assault weapons. They say that every day. You and I have all heard it on the TV and
because
radio a million
laws
times.
clearly work in the mind of somebody that's willing to murder multiple people.
But let's just say hypothetically, you could make them all disappear tomorrow. That is assault weapons. Well, what's going to happen next? You're going to have some crazy guy. First of all, that's completely untenable and impossible and logistically unfeasible. But let's just say you can make it happen. Then you're going to have a crazy guy walk into a mall or a school somewhere with a couple of handguns or a shotgun or whatever it is and kill a bunch of people. And then I go, well, the next thing is we need to ban handguns. And now we need to ban. I mean, they're going to do it.
We need to
one
ban
at a
crazy
time.
bastards. That's what we need to ban.
We need to ban crazy bastards. And that's the point. But nobody wants to address that because that's hard. Because finding, diagnosing, identifying, and dealing with the crazy bastards is hard, Jason. And they all know that. So what's easy? Just banning, what kind of firearm law-abiding citizens can own. That's what's easy. And so that's the direction they choose to take.
And it feels like we spend so much time talking about what courts are doing with bump stocks and ghost guns. Are these things really that big of a problem out on the streets right now, Guy?
Well, no. The one thing that
but it makes these lefties feel good and comfortable that they're being addressed by the courts, though.
No, that's right. I mean, so-called bump stocks. I mean, one was allegedly used in the Vegas shooting. That's what got all the attention out there.
And that was a Trump.
That was
initiated.
Exactly right. And Trump did that. But beyond that, are bump stocks used in a bunch of crimes? I've never heard of it ever other than in Las Vegas.
So Trump initiated the bump stock ban.
Absolutely.
And then they put a stop to that recently, right?
Well, yeah, and the Supreme Court has just taken that case.
That's right.
And so we're going to see a ruling on that. That's Cargill versus U.S. And actually I had Mr. Cargill on my show. On my much abbreviated show on Saturday, I actually had Mr. Cargill call in and we talked about that. So bump stocks, because again, what happened, and this is the point people lose sight of. It's not like, we're all excited about bump stocks. I think bump stocks are stupid. If you show up to my range with a bump stock on your rifle, even when they were legal, I'm going to make fun of you because I think they're dumb, right? You're trading accuracy for rate of fire, which in my mind is never smart. But that's not the point. The point is an executive agency at the whim of a president, in this case Trump, made something illegal that was illegal before, to the point where someone can go to prison for 10 years. That's not the role of an executive agency. That's not what Congress created that's not what our founders created in the form of this beautiful document, the Constitution, when they said all legislative power shall be vested in the Congress. That's the point. And so I don't care about bump stocks, but I care a lot when a president can just snap his fingers like Obama used to say, I can't get anything through Congress, but I got a phone and a pen. Remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what Trump did with bump stocks. And I care a lot about the process, and I care a lot about an executive agency or a president snapping their fingers and suddenly sending people to prison for something that was legal before. That's Congress's job, and if Congress doesn't do it, that's unconstitutional, it's illegal, and we ought to fight it tooth and nail, whether or not we care about something like bump stocks.
Got about a minute left here, Guy. Take me through what happened last week at the Supreme Court. I remember a week ago, Monday Gun Day, you said that there was a big trial coming to the Supreme Court with 2A ramifications.
Well,
do we have an update?
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. This is Rahimi, and this is the case that I told you that from a 2A perspective, I didn't feel great about, and I feel less great about it after the oral argument. And recognize we got a time limitation. This was a guy who was found to have violated the law that says if you're under a domestic violence order of protection, you can't possess a gun. And the Fifth Circuit said that's unconstitutional under the Bruin decision because that's not a long-standing prohibition that's been in place. That went up, and I said, listen, this guy's not a good guy. He's a violent guy. He's got a long history of being violent. He's had multiple orders of protection on behalf of multiple women issued against him. I don't feel good about this case because of who Rahimi is. If you listen to the oral argument was, this is a bad guy. He's a violent guy, and don't we want to be able to keep violent people from possessing firearms? And so I think we're going to see a ruling that sort of limits down and narrows the scope of some of the 2A protections we've been seeing.
If anybody wants to continue this conversation or just stalk you because you are such a good-looking, fine American, where can they find you?
Guy Relford on Twitter is the best way to follow me, and go on there, give me a follow at Guy Relford on Twitter.
Guy, you're a rock star. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paper.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Alcohol is a substance most commonly abused by teens. Survey data shows that 2 in 10 Indiana high school students reported drinking in the past month, and more than half of Hoosier teens say it would be easy to get alcohol. How do you talk with your teen about alcohol use, especially if they see peers or adults drinking? First, understand that your child may point out contradictions in our society's views on alcohol. It's okay to acknowledge those facts. Talk with your teen about the many risks of alcohol use. During your conversation, you can both validate their views and uphold your family values. You are the first line of defense against alcohol abuse, so don't be afraid to talk to your teen. What you say has a big influence on their decision to drink or not. This Kids Count Minute is a message from Indiana Youth Institute. For more parent tips, visit IYI.org.
Kids Count on you.
On select major brands, plus a free alignment with any 4-tire purchase.
Are these uncertain times making you nervous? Give Family Heating and Air a call at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Royal Spa. The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
All right, Matt Baer is out. Tom Gaines is filling in.
Well, good afternoon. 465 northbound, still jammed I-70 to Fall Creek, where a crash blocks the right lane. It's about 20 minutes worth of solid traffic there. Watching a delay just beginning to build now. 69 southbound, slow from 96 down to 82nd. 65 southbound, stop and go from 21st Street down to MLK for about a 4-minute delay. Don't miss the annual B-Window Black Friday sale, up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer's rebates. No payments, no interest for 20 months. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Looks like we could be close to 70 degrees by Wednesday of this week.
Yeah.
We'll take that. Right now, 64 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center here at 93 WIBC. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here.
Hey now.
Can I have just a quick moment here, Nige?
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who has sent well wishes to our family. It's been kind of a crap week. We had a couple things going on. So my wife was having a surgery that required her to stay in the hospital overnight.
Yep.
And this is pretty big surgery. She's supposed to be bed rest for the next 4 to 6 weeks. While that's going on, her mother is not doing well, and she's at another hospital, and she ultimately passed away last week.
Crystal's mom.
Crystal's mom, yes. So my wife, God bless her.
I can imagine.
Coming out of a surgery where you're supposed to be bedridden and you have to go up to the hospital to make some really big decisions in regards to her mom. And
I couldn't imagine.
She has been just such a rock star through this whole process. And to anybody that sent us messages, whether it's a text to me or her personally, Nige, you checked in, Rob, Tony,
of course.
Casey, Allison, Matt Bear, you guys, that kind of stuff means so much to our family. So thank you for that. Crystal was really close with her mom. And, everything's been set now. The celebration of life has been set. We're still trying to make sure she gets the rest that she needs. But at the same time, we're handling funeral plans basically for her mother.
I mean, what a roller coaster ride for your family last week, because you thought, without getting into too much detail, or you can get into whatever detail, but you thought her mom was going to pull through at one point.
Right. We thought there was going to be a surgery
for her,
a liver replacement.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was liver failure that ultimately cost her life. And we were excited. We thought one night, all right, this is it. The surgery is going to happen tonight. And then we were told kind of last minute, well, she's not strong enough for the surgery yet. We don't think she would make it through. So we said, okay, let's try to get her stronger again. And man, liver failure is a mother. She never regained her strength. It actually regressed quite a bit.
Wow.
And I'm just telling this, if anybody has a loved one that has not had blood work done or checked on an organ, I have seen liver failure up close. It is not pretty. It is painful. It sucks. Do yourself a favor and go get things checked out, because you do not want to go through what her mom went through.
And I hope your wife realizes that she does need rest, okay? I mean, I know she probably feels like that she has to do a lot right now with the family and your boys and arrangements, but man, she went through a procedure too.
Yes.
Where she should not have been at the other hospital having to take care of those things. She should have been in bed. Just like, it's important for her to rest, and it's okay for her to rest, even though what happened to your family is very sad and emotional, but it's okay for her to rest. It's okay.
In like a 12-hour span, she came home from the hospital and then had to go up to another hospital to make decisions on her mom. And bless her heart, her mom was always really nice to me, just a great part of the family, not in pain anymore, and that's important. If you believe in that kind of stuff, I'm all in.
Well, and I know it's been rough for the grandkids, and you guys just lost Crystal's father.
Yeah,
right.
Brownie passed away back in January.
Yeah, so it's been a hell of a year for the Hammers, man. I'm sorry, and praying for you guys, praying for Crystal and your boys and the rest of the family as well.
And again, thank you guys for all your texts and messages, and to the people we don't know. Like, we feel so incredibly loved by the people just tweeting or liking a post, man. Like, it might sound dumb, but that kind of stuff actually goes a long way. So from our family to all of you guys, thank you so much. Better days ahead for sure.
How long is Crystal supposed to be just resting after her procedure?
Anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how quick it is for you to recover.
Yeah.
So, every day she feels a little bit better, but I got to make sure that she's not trying to do too much.
Yes.
So that's kind of how she is. In other news, Nige, happier news here.
Yeah.
The National Toy Hall of Fame has announced its new class. The inductees include baseball cards, Cabbage Patch Kids, Fisher-Price Corn Popper, that little thing you push, and Nerf.
Nerf?
Nerf made it in
I think
this
I'm good with the list. Like last year, the year before, it was like sand. I think a stick is somewhere on the list there in the
getting kicked in the crotch.
No, literally, I think a stick is in the National Toy Hall of Fame.
It is. For sure.
Now, I'm curious, okay, so who didn't make it? Because there was a long list.
So those that did not make the list this year, and I'm surprised because Barbie's had a big year. Ken did not make it in. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did not make it in. Also, failing to receive the proper amount of votes, the games Battleship, Bop It, Bingo, and Slime. Just Slime.
Oh, come on. Slime's got to get in there. That's all my kids were playing with for a while earlier this summer. Making their own slime, buying slime on Amazon, slime this, slime that. It's everywhere in the house. It's stuck in our carpet. It's so annoying.
It's a staple of Nickelodeon. How have they not had lobbyists to get slime into the Toy Hall of Fame? Top stories coming up next. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Right now, you can get a 13% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. When you invest $100,000, you get a $13,000 bonus right out of the gate. Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel. Not only will you get a 13% bonus, you could also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. And don't forget about the 13% bonus.
And look, you'll sleep well knowing your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. Learn more from Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy. He's my retirement guy. Let him be your retirement guy. Just call 317-648-5120. That's 648-5120. This 13% bonus won't last long. 648-5120. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
When it comes to illegal immigration, there's only one true conservative running for U.S. Senate this year. That's Trump-endorsed Jim Banks. Jim Banks has a plan, and it's simple. If you're caught in this country illegally, you're sent back to where you came from. Got that? No? Okay, well, let me repeat it. When Jim Banks is the senator, his policy on illegal immigration will be as follows. If you're in the country illegally, you're going back to where you came from. Mi casa is no longer tu casa, my friends. Jim Banks, Army veteran, Trump endorsed. A simple plan for dealing with illegal immigration. Jim Banks for U.S. Senate. American Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Are you tired of cleaning it up after every rain? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real, local, Indiana family-owned company. Even a small amount of water in your basement can lead to a huge amount of problems. Don't let your wet basement problem get worse. Call Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer, Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair at 317-407-1868 or SwaincoLLC.com. And ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
1 point, 1 swing, 1 tackle, 1 step. One trusted hospital system for orthopedic care. Franciscan Health's orthopedic, sports medicine, and rehabilitation teams offer state-of-the-art treatments, including total joint replacement, physical therapy, and the latest techniques and interventions for a variety of conditions, including arthritis and orthopedic sports-related injuries, keeping you in step, one step at a time. Find a full range of orthopedic care in one place. Go to franciscanhealth.org/orthocare.
This Christmas, 5,000 children in central Indiana are depending on Angel Tree to put gifts under their Christmas tree. We need your help to make this happen, so we're making it easy to participate right from home. Angels can be sponsored online by visiting the Salvation Army Central Indiana website. Choose your angel, buy their gifts, and return them to the Salvation Army by December 2nd. Learn more at salvationarmyindiana.org/angeltree.
Coming up in 2 minutes, why a burn ban is in effect for parts of central Indiana. Chris Davis reports on an IU football player who is proving his innocence. And the Indianapolis Colts traveled to a different country to land their 5th win of the season. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. Temperatures in the 60s downtown. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The White House House not ruling anything out. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden says he'll see what they come up with as House Speaker Mike Johnson tees up a new short-term funding approach to avoid a government shutdown.
Our number one goal is to make sure that we take the best path forward for the American people. That's what we're going to focus on. But this is indeed untested.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre on the so-called laddered proposal that would extend some government funding into mid-January, the rest into early February. Current funding runs out Friday. Debate over short-term spending is what helped lead to the ouster of Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker. President Biden says he hopes for less intrusive action at a hospital in Gaza, where the Israeli military says Hamas has a command post.
The hospital must be protected.
The U.S. also appealing for longer humanitarian pauses in the fighting. The U.S. Supreme Court adopts its first ever code of ethics.
Facing increasing public pressure over undisclosed gifts and other financial benefits, justices at the Supreme Court have agreed to a lengthy code of ethics that includes standards for impropriety, recusal from cases, extrajudicial activities, and financial activities.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A statement from the justices says the code is largely not new, but that they're issuing the code to dispel misunderstanding. Donald Trump Jr. takes the stand again at the Trump civil fraud trial in New York, this time as the first defense witness, testifying about the achievements of the Trump organization.
Starting with the slideshow that the defense showed called the Trump Story that laid out the history and vision of the Trump organization. He said it was probably a mistake that he and his brother Eric did not develop international properties while his father was president, but went on through most of the testimony praising his father.
Fox's Eric Shawn, the former president, calling the trial a witch hunt and the judge obsessed in a social media post this afternoon. Mixed finish on Wall Street, the Dow up 54 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why there's a burn ban. Sunny and 64 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. All clear under radar. Low of 31 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. There's an increased chance for fires across some parts of Indiana, says Andrew White with the National Weather Service.
The best thing is just to not have an outdoor fire. Now's just not a good time to burn your leaves really through much of the week this week. Really until we get some rain, it's probably not a good time to do that.
The bans are in effect for South Central and Central Indiana. A former football player from Indiana University accused in a Mississippi murder is now off the hook. Chris Davis explains.
Jamison Kelly Jr. walked into a Hinds County, Mississippi courtroom Monday morning in handcuffs, but walked out a free man. That is because the case against he and the accused murderer, Joshua Brown, who are both from South Mississippi, fell apart in the past couple of weeks. Video evidence proving since then that neither man could have been at the scene of the murder when it happened about a month ago on the campus of Jackson State University. It's unclear what his future with IU might be. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A 19-year-old's in custody after the fatal shooting of a 17-year-old in Speedway early Sunday morning. The Marion County Coroner's Office says Caden Clements was shot and killed, and Benjamin Mulkey was ID'd as a suspect. Police say Mulkey lives at the home where the shooting happened, which was in a neighborhood just east of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Mulkey's now in the Marion County Jail, and the county prosecutor's office is reviewing formal charges. Several cities around Indianapolis may be trying to become their own business and entertainment hub, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business.
You know, Carmel started that with Mayor Brainerd years ago with that vision that totally transformed Carmel.
And Fishers is another example. Dick tells WIBC's Tony Katz Fishers is making investments with its own event center, which is the future home of the Indy Fuel and an indoor football league. The statewide average you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.37, says GasBuddy.com. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's info 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
With traffic at 4:05, here's Tom Gaines.
Well, Harrison, a big delay on the east side. 465 northbound at Fall Creek. A crash blocks the right lane. It's solid before Pendleton Pike into the scene. 465 on the west side northbound is slow from 86 to 865. It's about a 4-minute delay. And 65 southbound is building. It's heavy from 29th down to west. 5 minutes worth of stop-and-go traffic. This report brought to you by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile, all on the most reliable 5G network, most reliable based on root metrics. U.S. report. Results vary. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Remaining mostly clear for tonight are low temperatures in the mid-30s. Tuesday, another day of a lot of sunshine. High temperatures above average, around 60. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
So, Hammer, I'm looking at the headline of the New York Times here. Sweeping raids, giant camps, mass deportations.
Bum, bum, bum.
Inside Trump's 2025 immigration plan. So it's like the New York Times is sounding the alarm about Donald Trump. If he were to get back into the White House, here's what he's going to do in terms of illegal immigration and deportation. And this has been mirrored, like by the New York Post also ran a story about this. To me, the media is painting this all as negative, but I think a crackdown is what everybody wants.
Right. Even in Chicago and New York, liberal hotbeds, right? They're having like town hall meetings where they're wondering, hey, can we send these people somewhere else? The same people that were complaining like a year or two ago when Abbott and DeSantis were busing all of these folks to various cities, now they want to do the same. Now, I'm wondering, Nigel, has the New York Times or the New York Post covered what's happening at the border with the same vitriol that they're covering how Donald Trump wants to fix what's happening as a result of the border?
Let me just read an excerpt here from the New York Times article. Former President Trump planning an extreme expansion of his first-term crackdown on immigration if he returns to power in 2025, including the preparing to round up undocumented people already in the United States on a vast scale and detain them in sprawling camps while they wait to be expelled. The plan would sharply restrict both legal and illegal immigration in a multitude of ways. Trump wants to revive his first-term border policies. It just goes on and on and on. And I'm thinking, like, if I'm Trump and I'm seeing all this, I'm like, thanks for the free campaign ads.
Right.
I mean, that's millions of dollars in earned media right there.
I don't think they're going to get the same reaction if they try to play the kids in cages card like they did last time around.
Right.
Because I think a lot of time has passed since that. A lot of things have changed. And I think most people now understand, at least they should understand, that was not a Donald Trump policy. That was a Barack Obama and Joe Biden policy about kids in cages. And they try to pull that now. I think the narrative shifts to, well, at least they're not being raped and murdered by drug runners. Because to me, that's a much bigger deal of what's happening at the border than anything else is.
And hundreds of thousands of Americans dying of fentanyl overdose coming through the border.
The drug problem. Last break, I talked about how my mother-in-law passed away from liver failure.
Yes.
I was speaking with a doctor one night up at the hospital, and this is so sad, but I 100% believe this. When we were thinking about, whether or not she was going to be able to get, the organ she needs for a transplant. A donor.
Yeah.
The doctor said the downside to the drug crisis in this country is so many healthy people are dying. We've got more organs now than we've had in years. Let that sink in for just a moment.
That just blew my mind. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Right. She was, if she would have been healthy enough to survive the surgery, it wouldn't have been a problem getting her an organ like that. according to the doctor that I spoke with. So that's how bad things are with the drug problem right now. People who are donors, listed on their driver's license, accidentally ODing. Maybe you're taking something that you have no idea is laced with fentanyl and dying. And the silver lining, if you want to call it that, is there's a lot more organs for people who need transplants.
And I think if this is true, this Trump 2025 plan for immigration, if this is true, it's exactly what voters want. Even you think about it, Hispanics that have come here legally. Donald Trump spoke in front of a 95% Hispanic crowd during the debate night. Right? He was mirroring the GOP debates,
right,
in an area that was 95% Hispanic Cuban. Those people all here legally. They came here the right way. They paid thousands and thousands of dollars. They waited years and years and years and did it the right way. So especially with Hispanics, I think a crackdown is exactly what everybody wants.
And if you're Donald Trump, can you win over some of these liberal areas? Like, you're never going to win Chicago, but can you gain more support in cities like Chicago or New York City by saying, look, Democrat policies have failed you. You might not like me, but you didn't have this problem when I was the president. You were too busy making fun of my skin color and who I may or may not have been having relations with, but you weren't dealing with this stuff in your own backyards. So what do you have to lose? That was a big part of the Donald Trump 2006 campaign. He had an event shortly before the election, and I think this was in Wisconsin, and he kind of throws up his arms. What do you have to lose? And I think that resonated with people. And I think you can do the same thing when it comes to what's happening with immigration and drugs and crime right now. So Friday night, Nige, this was pretty interesting. Laura Ingraham on Fox, on her program, had Ronna McDaniel on, the head of the RNC. And Laura kind of grilled her over the failure of the RNC's ability to fundraise and help out some states like Virginia. Because in Virginia, even though Youngkin, for the most part, is a pretty popular guy, the Democrats rolled in Election Day last week. They won the House, they won the Senate, and they were outspent by a tremendous amount. And to her credit, Laura Ingraham brought that up to Ronna McDaniel.
People were wondering where the money was, whether they were going to get some help from the RNC. And I know at one point you said that you were not asked for money in Virginia, but a Republican source familiar with the Youngkin team in Virginia told The Angle late tonight that is false. And meaning your story keeps changing. Anyone who thinks Virginia Republicans wouldn't want to help when we knew we'd be outspent isn't being serious. Ronna, they were outspent by $8 million.
Glenn Youngkin did a phenomenal job, and he raised a lot of money. A lot of people don't understand fundraising. I can't raise state dollars. I don't get unlimited convention and state dollars. And these were state House and state Senate races. The RNC is a federal committee. So, come on. Can you just, these are people who come after me all the time. They're on Twitter. They're all the time. And let's see their results. What did they do in Virginia? How much money did they give?
Vivek, during that debate, went after her right to her face, if you remember that.
Well, Laura Ingraham brought that up.
Really?
Because I don't think Vivek is the only one that looks at Ronna McDaniel, and to quote the Bobs in Office Space, what would you say you do here?
Vivek and others are saying that under your leadership, Republicans have lost election after election, and positing the question, why should you retain your job given the track record of the party under your leadership? And to that, what do you say?
Well, first, I'm going to continue to focus on Joe Biden and Democrats. And I think there was a moment missed during that debate by Vivek to talk about the fact that we still have 13 American hostages in Israel. The fact that for the first time ever in the history of either party, we had a Jewish co-sponsor for a debate, and we are in very perilous times in our country. And I do think Republican voters, and I hear this echoed all the time, are tired of the circular firing squad within our party.
That was a deflection seminar, if I've ever heard one.
Right. Here's my follow-up. What wins do you have? You're right now, Ronna McDaniel, you are the Washington Generals, and the Harlem Globetrotters have been beating you every single election.
And she turns around and goes straight to hostages with Hamas. Strange.
Yeah, the McFailures, and this is something we said before. They were all originally picked to keep seats. Kevin McCarthy, easy for me to say, Ronna McDaniel, and Cocaine Mitch McConnell, the McFailures. What would you say you guys have done here? Interesting interview on CNN. And again, we watch this crap so you don't have to. And based on CNN's ratings, nobody is watching this stuff.
Nobody.
Dana Bash sat down with Bibi Netanyahu. And take a listen to this. This is kind of a...
he's the Israeli prime minister.
Right. Yeah. Rare sit-down interview with CNN. And do you think this is a gotcha question? Dana Bash basically wanting Netanyahu to admit that he failed when it comes to national security.
I have had multiple people inside Israel reach out to me knowing that I was going to interview you and say the one thing they want to hear from you is that you take personal responsibility for failing to prevent the October 7th attacks and protecting your people. I know you say the time for that will come after the war. Why won't you take responsibility now?
I've already addressed that many times, and I said this whole question will be addressed after the war. Just as people would ask, well, did people ask Franklin Roosevelt after Pearl Harbor that question? Did people ask George Bush after the surprise attack of November 11th? Look, it's a question that needs to be asked.
I think those questions were asked.
And I've said that one thing that is important is, and I've said we're going to answer all these questions, including me. I'm going to be asked tough questions. Right now, I think what we have to do is unite the country for one purpose alone, and that is to achieve victory. That's what I did. We formed a unity government where the country is united as never before, and I think that's what we have to pursue. And what the people expect me to do right now is two things. One, achieve this victory and bring the hostages back, and second, assure that Gaza never becomes
And to Israelis who are disappointed that you still won't take responsibility, you say?
Well, I said that I'm going to answer all the questions that are required, including the questions of responsibility. There'll be enough time for that after the war. Let's focus on victory. That's my responsibility now.
So, rare sit-down interview with CNN from Bibi Netanyahu there. All right, Matt Bear is out. Tom Gaines is filling in. What's going on, Tom?
Got a crash still 465 northbound just past I-70 at Fall Creek. It's stop and go from I-70 up to Fall Creek, and that's going to be cleared in just a few minutes. They say it's about a 20-minute delay still. 465 on the north side, eastbound slow Meridian to Allisonville, and 69 southbound building a bit. It's stop and go from 82nd down to about I-465. It's about a 4-minute delay there and building. State Road 37 northbound is heavy from Edgewood to 465. This report brought to you by Grand Appliance. Shop the Black Friday sale now at Grand Appliance for the lowest prices of the year all November long. Visit grandappliance.com for the lowest appliance prices. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
64 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Let's bring a little energy. Let's bring a little fun. Let's play a slightly intoxicated round of Is This Anything next.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Bills piling up? Rent due? Just need some extra cash to get by? Then you need to go to thinkwallet.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $25,000 in minutes. No need to search through endless loan sites or filling out tons of forms. Thinkwallet.com is one of the largest personal loan marketplaces with over 100 lenders for all credit types. Whether you have good credit or it needs work, thinkwallet.com can help you get the money you need fast. Just fill out the quick form and get approved for up to $25,000 in minutes. There's no paperwork to submit. You can do it right from your phone. Best part? The money can be in your bank account as soon as the next day. Whether you need money for bills, an emergency, or whatever reason, thinkwallet.com can help you get the money you need regardless of your credit history. When you need extra cash, go to thinkwallet.com. That's thinkwallet.com. Thinkwallet.com.
Where do you feel the pain, guys? Look, sometimes you're getting older, you feel it in the knees or the hips, the shoulder, the back, but you don't have to let it sideline you. And if it is, talk to the professionals at QC Kinetics. Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, restoring and repairing damaged joint tissue. Surgery is not your only option. Take a breath, take a beat, and talk to QC Kinetics first. With demand so strong, QC Kinetics has added Saturday appointments right here in the Indianapolis area. Do you have arthritic pain or pain from an injury? Call QC Kinetics. Don't just live with it. That's crazy. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. QC Kinetics. It's in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel, with those Saturday hours at all 3 locations. Call 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics. Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and now in Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
My husband Bob has Parkinson's and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. The program begins in summer of 2024. Call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Diamonds Direct's last and largest sale of the year is this weekend. Get an incredible 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets. Save an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. This is the big one with an expanded selection and in-store designer appearances all weekend. Special financing too. Lowest prices of the year starting Friday. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com. Open this Sunday for this extraordinary once-a-year store-wide event. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Between global jihad, China, Russia, and our southern border, we are in for a long and protracted battle. You need to prepare for the worst. Protect your home, protect your family, and protect your investments. It's time to reach out to the Oxford Gold Group. They make it simple for whether you are buying more gold, diversifying your 401k, or buying gold for the first time. Call 833-995-GOLD or visit jessekellygold.com. That's jessekellygold.com.
24/7 ER care for kids. 24/7 peace of mind for you. Riley Children's Health emergency doctors and nurses are in the ER around the clock at IU Health North in Carmel. Learn more at rileychildrens.org/ER.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll. Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I will run some stories by you. You break down all the information and give the good people that are listening the verdict. Is the story anything or not? Is this anything? The 57th annual Turkey Fair, which takes place in France, was back this past weekend where a turkey call competition was held. Here are a few contestants doing their best in the turkey call competition.
Yes, this is something, and this is something all three of us, including Allison, are going to do right now. And Allison, I don't want any of the go gobble gobble gobble. I want what we just heard in that clip.
I knew. I want
everybody to do a real turkey call. So here we go. I'll go first.
That's so good. I can't do better than that.
Come on, everybody.
The visual was great as well.
That was solid. Like you set the bar. All right, here's mine. That was it. Yeah.
All right, I'll take the win on that one. I'll take the W on that.
Dude, you set the bar.
I've been practicing. Ever since I saw we were going to do this story, I've been in one of the back rooms by
You've been
myself,
watching yourself in the mirror and just doing that.
Now, Allison, the Home and Garden Show, which was this past weekend, you guys had Turkey Fest, right?
Yeah.
Was this part of Turkey Fest?
What a missed opportunity.
No kidding.
Next year, we need to have a stage and everything. That's
Right.
a brilliant idea.
Tell Denny Smith that next year, because it's really his show. It's Denny Smith and his sidekick, Pat.
Sure.
Tell Denny Smith
Wow.
that next year on Turkey Fest, there has to be a turkey call competition.
100%.
Courtney saying my turkey call was horrendous on Twitter.
What?
Wow. We're gonna have to clip that in the YouTube stream, by the way, Allison.
I think so.
Can we make that into a promo? The Skeeter on a Peter was not allowed to be in a promo.
I don't know why.
So maybe we can make Turkey Call. It's topical, 'tis the season. See if you can put that in a promo, Allison.
The Hammer Nigel Show.
Is this anything? An unidentified man in Maryland was caught on camera destroying a McDonald's and harassing the employees.
Oh, another one of these, huh?
All through the drive-through window. Here's the moment that he went up to the window and got a little wild.
Shut it down right now! Give me some food! Food! Give me some real food! He's coming out. He's cooking you for it. That right there. Both ends.
Chris Christie was hungry. Now, I gotta tell you, even though some of these fast food restaurants now, their employees are making like $20 an hour, they're still underpaid when they have to deal with this stuff. Like teachers, police officers, and late night fast food workers are three of the most underpaid careers in the United States.
The amount of nudity that you see in both of those jobs.
Yes.
People going through the fast food drive-through or lewd nude dude in the news. You have to deal with a lot of Franken beans flying at you, which tells me that it's time for great moments in McDonald's drive-thru history, Nige.
Oh, wow.
This was a couple years ago when a McDonald's worker threw a cup of ice at a drive-thru customer who was being a pain in the backside.
So I can't have sauce. Yeah, you don't like it, huh? Oh, yeah? You're going to throw water on me? Oh, yeah. Really now? Who's calling the cops now? Because I asked for some sauce?
So wait, that was the McDonald's worker that threw the ice on the customer?
Yes.
See, the thing is, the customer probably deserved it. I don't have any I don't have any context there for what was happening. I would 50-50 the customer was being an a-hole before she started filming.
Great moments in McDonald's drive-thru history. This was when some Karen in the drive-thru was not happy because the McDonald's worker, who had some broken English, was having a hard time with their order. But then the McDonald's worker called her honey, and this Karen flipped out.
Can I get 2 McDoubles, just plain, nothing on it? 2 plain McDouble, only cheese. Nothing on it.
Yeah, I understand, but the McDouble come with cheese. You want a cheese or no cheese?
Nothing on it, no cheese.
Sorry, honey.
It's okay. Stop with the honey, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
Stop laughing. Not funny. I'm not your honey, so stop telling me honey is what I'm saying. You can just say whatever you need to say. Where's your manager? Let me speak to your manager.
Oh, come on.
The true definition of a Karen right there.
Lighten up, Francis. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Man, I'm telling you, if you could see the before and after photos of my garage floor after Galaxy Concrete Coatings got a hold of it, you'd be blown away. I think they're up on their Facebook page. Go to Galaxy Concrete Coatings Indianapolis on Facebook. Scroll down to March. That's when they put the new coating on my garage floor. It's night and day. You can even tell. My old garage floor was cracked and dirty and uneven, and within a day, Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and turned it into something brand new and beautiful. Now, the big question everybody always asks me when they see my garage is that epoxy? That's epoxy, right? No. That's the old standard. Galaxy uses polyurea, the new premium standard for coatings. Check out their website, get a quote. You can do your garage, your basement, pool deck, any indoor, outdoor area concrete. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or 751-9070.
Tony Katz here for 459 Barber Lounge. You want to look your best? You got to go to the best. 459 has highly skilled barbers and stylists with over 100 years of combined experience. They've been serving Indy for over 20 years. They take care of me, and you're going to love your look after a visit to 459 Barber Lounge. They sell beer and wine, and they're open 7 days a week. Newly expanded, newly renovated, across from the Fashion Mall on 86th Street. 459online.com. That's 459online.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why a campfire is not advised. 63 degrees, sunny in the circle. No rain to worry about on radar. Low of 31 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Burn bans are in effect across south central Indiana. Some rain would help, but Andrew White with the National Weather Service says that may not happen until Friday.
But that's not going to really be enough to do too much. And really the forecast even after Friday into the weekend looks fairly dry. And
White says expect temperatures today in the 60s and then drop down to the 30s tonight. You can thank electronic evidence for helping prove that a former IU football player may have had nothing to do with a murder in Mississippi. Chris Davis reports.
In the past couple of weeks, the case against Jamison Kelly Jr., who was accused of driving the getaway car after a murder on the campus of Jackson State University, has fallen apart. The man accused of the actual murder, Joshua Brown, was released from jail Friday. Kelly was released Monday after a hearing in Hinds County Court. The judge initially denied him bond because of his connections to IU. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may have heard this before. A government shutdown is possible in a few days unless Congress can agree on a bill to fund the government beyond November 17th. That deadline is from a short-term bill passed in late September.
I'm not going to make a judgment what I'd veto, what I'd sign. But let's wait and see what they come up with.
President Biden talking about when he signed that short-term bill earlier this year. You may not need to come to the Circle City to get that big city experience, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business. He says places like Carmel, Westfield, and Noblesville want to become their own entertainment hubs.
You know, Fishers has an arena that's under construction that will be home to the Indy Fuel and to the new indoor football league that has been around for a number of years.
Dick on WIBC's Tony Katz. The closing bell report brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow rose by 54 points to 34,337. The NASDAQ down by 30 to 13,767. And the S&P 500 dropping by 3 on your Monday to 4,411. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, we understand that your retirement and taxes are inseparable. And if you're over 50, we're offering a special deal to kickstart your financial journey in 2024. You can have your 2023 tax return prepared and filed, including Schedules A, B, and D, for just $79.95. This can be the start of a lifelong profitable partnership with Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All our retirement planning clients will continue to receive the substantial discount for tax filing and preparation as part of our ongoing retirement marathon that focuses on protecting everything you've worked so hard to build while still providing growth to help elevate your lifestyle in retirement. Take absolute control of your retirement. Call us now at 317-288-0634, 317-288-0634, or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. Investment advisory service is offered through Gradient Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Gradient Advisors, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice.
With traffic at 4:33, here's Tom Gaines.
Well, 465 northbound at Fall Creek. A crash is now cleared, but it's still slow from Pendleton Pike. 465 southbound is slow from Washington Street down to Shadeland. 65 southbound, stop and go 29th to the north split. That's about an 8-minute delay. And I-69 southbound slow 96th into 465. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Remaining mostly clear for tonight are low temperatures in the mid-30s. Tuesday, another day of a lot of sunshine. High temperatures above average, around 60. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Punishment, judges. Crime, punishment, judges. Legal stuff.
Hammer carjackings have gotten so bad in D.C. 3 individuals tried to steal the Secret Service vehicle carrying Joe Biden's granddaughter, Hunter Biden's daughter, Naomi. The agents opened fire.
I hope they killed every single one of them.
They got away. The dudes got away. But, boy, they picked the wrong car to mess with.
Did they? Because they got away with it. Here's Peter Ducey of Fox.
At 11:58 p.m. last night in Georgetown, which is about a mile and a half from where we're standing right now, Secret Service officers who are assigned to protect Naomi Biden, that's President Biden's granddaughter, Hunter Biden's daughter, opened fire at 3 people who were trying to steal one of the Secret Service vehicles. We don't know exactly what kind of a car this was, but according to the Secret Service, who just sent us a statement, Secret Service agents encountered possibly 3 individuals breaking a window on a parked and unoccupied government vehicle. During the encounter, a federal agent discharged a service weapon, and it is believed no one was struck. The offenders immediately fled the scene in a red vehicle, and a regional lookout was issued to supporting units. That means that somebody tried to steal a Secret Service car from the agents that were protecting the president's granddaughter, and they got away. They're still out there this morning.
That's nuts.
Those guys should have been shot.
Dead.
To quote Grady Judd,
Yeah. Graveyard dead.
You try to get anywhere near a presidential motorcade or around the president's family, you need to be shot dead. And these guys got away.
Dude, I saw footage of, you see a lot of this stuff on Twitter, of a guy trying to carjack an undercover police officer that's on a stakeout. This guy rolls up and immediately just gets blown away.
Good.
I mean, the officer is on some sort of undercover stakeout, right? And this guy rolls up, throws open the door, and immediately the officer just unloads on this guy. I hate watching that stuff on Twitter, actually. I'm glad that, I'm glad the guy's gone.
Right.
But I don't like death and all that stuff. I don't like seeing people die on Twitter. I just happen to click on that one. Yeah. Police officers, Secret Service agents, don't mess around. And a lot of times, law-abiding gun owners don't mess around either.
Every time a carjacker gets shot, an angel gets its wings. When we remake It's a Wonderful Life, and if we do like the radio reading of it like we've done in the past, we need to customize it for 2023. Anytime a carjacker gets shot, an angel gets its wings. The feds kind of zeroing in on some text messages from New York City's Mayor Eric Adams.
Oh, yeah. They confiscated all his electronic equipment, right?
The seizure of his electronic devices came 4 days after the feds, armed with a warrant, busted into the Brooklyn home of his lead campaign fundraiser, 25-year-old Brianna Suggs, seeking documents related to contributions to the Adams campaign in 2021. The records also show travel to Turkey by campaign employees, and this could reveal more about any ties to the Turkish government.
Yeah, Eric Adams, it looked like he fast-tracked the Turkish diplomatic headquarters. Got that pushed through in his old borough, I believe, of where he's from. So, I don't know. It doesn't look like, you get down into the weeds of this, it doesn't look like a Joe Biden, Hunter Biden situation where, hey, I'm not giving you $1 more aid until you fire that prosecutor that happens to be investigating my son and the company that he works for. I don't think it's at that level, hey, don't forget about, we sent you a bunch of cash. You better fast track these diplomatic headquarters. It doesn't seem to be that level of conspiracy. What is weird, I think, is that he has a 25-year-old person running his campaign.
Fundraising, especially.
I mean, for God's sake, how can you be a league campaign fundraiser at 25 frigging years old?
Make the right connections, I guess, because fundraising is about who you know. If you've ever had to look into like fundraising of campaigns, it's a lot of handshakes, meetings, Zoom calls. It's who you know. Normally 25-year-olds don't know as many people, but maybe he was trying to tap into like a younger type of crowd, but
or maybe they work cheap.
That too. 100%. Dateline, California. A man in California bought a bunch of gold bars in a back alley from a man driving an old Honda Civic. That man was Jesse Kelly. Joking. I'm joking. He likes gold.
I love gold.
And when banks close, it freaks him out. Sounds like this was somebody that's really dumb but fell for a scam, right? Like, let's be honest. Wait. Your grandparents or older folks probably look at their email and go, wait a minute, there's a Saudi prince that wants to leave me a lot of money. Maybe I should look into this. Well, no, that's a total scam. Somebody was probably approached and said, hey, I've got all these gold bars. Meet me in this back alley. I'll cut you a deal. I'm going to be the guy driving the old Honda Civic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, both people are at fault here, I think.
Right.
I mean,
but it's not illegal to be an idiot, though.
Yeah. I mean, you're buying gold bars on the black market from some guy in the back of a trunk. And that's a very specific number, $21,000. I wouldn't even think I could get away with something like that if I had a bunch of gold bars that looked real. I'd be like, hey, give me $50. I'll give you all this. That probably would have been my number if I was the
$50.
Yeah, $50. You get a carload full of gold bricks.
The investigator is still trying to find the seller, but they're looking for an old Honda Civic in California, and somebody's got an extra $21,000 on them. Like, man, you're right, though. You can't be this dumb. I don't know if you're old. I don't know if you're just a moron. But if you want to buy gold, you don't meet some dude in a back alley and make him open up his trunk. That's not how this normally works. If you have named your dog Chucky, somebody's going to think about the Child's Play doll.
Yeah, the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's a stranger going off on a woman for giving the name Chucky to her beautiful dog.
That's a beautiful dog. What's the baby name? Chucky. Oh, hell no. I know you didn't do that to that baby. Your name Chucky for real. Come here, baby. Man, if my mama named me something like Chucky, baby, I would bite her ass. You understand me? You look too good to be called Chucky, baby.
She doesn't look like a Chucky?
Hell no. She wouldn't look like Chucky. Are you sure you wasn't watching Chucky?
Chucky, what?
Baby, get your own job. Get you your ID, get your birth certificate, and change your name.
I love it. It's hilarious.
Getting a lecture for the name Chucky.
It takes me back to my days where I'd go over to my dad's on the weekends. And again, add Child's Play to the list of movies I was way too young to be watching with my dad.
When they make a movie, the Nigel origin story, it's going to be dark. Just a dark story.
It was Freddy Krueger when I was 9 years old. It was Child's Play. It was, cuss words left and right. But it was also Revenge of the Nerds and movies. I watched the movies with my dad that he wanted to watch. He didn't
Porky's.
Porky's was one of them for sure. I didn't understand half the jokes. All I knew when I was with my dad, especially the dirty, sex comedies and stuff, was that he would die laughing. And when I didn't understand, but I laughed with him. I didn't know what I was laughing at. I just knew that I was a pair of boobs on my TV and was laughing hysterically.
And what's weird, if you watch those movies now, like if you go back and rewatch some of those movies, I don't know what it is, man. Late 70s, early 80s boobs were different.
Yeah.
They totally were. Like more pointy. I can't explain it. I'm not a doctor. Allison, if you have anything to add to this conversation, you can weigh in. 70s, 80s boobs were different.
I don't want Allison to weigh in on this.
No comment.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, HR.
Dateline, Massachusetts. A Massachusetts woman was accidentally sent $20,000 worth of scratch-off lottery tickets to her house. The tickets were originally sent for a liquor store that was nearby, but they got the address wrong. And this woman had $20,000 worth of scratchers dropped off at her house. Now, she did the right thing. She promptly returned them to the Massachusetts Lottery. Here is Danielle.
Is this a joke? Thinking it's like joke tickets until I looked at the receipt and it valued $20,000 worth of scratch tickets. As I'm discussing with, one of my employees, our values are like do the next right thing. And so we looked at the receipt where it's supposed to go and went to return the box. I played the tape out through my mind. What would happen if I kept these? Would I be able to sleep at night? Those kind of things. And it was like, no, the right thing to do is to go return it.
I love how this woman thought that if she had decided to keep the tickets that were accidentally sent to her house, the lotto tickets, like she could just go through them all and scratch them off and cash them in.
Right.
Like, they track that stuff.
Right.
Like each one of those tickets that she was mistakenly delivered, like they all have serial numbers and barcodes.
Yeah.
They're probably not even activated yet.
There was some moron in Shelbyville that tried to do this. Because I used to work in Shelbyville at the casino,
Really?
and it was a person that was also banned from the casino, a well-known former athlete in the area. But yeah, moron thought that if you steal the lottery tickets and scratch them off, you can return them for the money.
They're immediately flagged.
Right.
I'm sure after a day or two of these, the scratch-off tickets sure that was immediately flagged, That doesn't, it's just so funny how she thought, oh, yes, I did the right thing, but I thought about it. I thought about keeping them, but no, I did the right thing. Lady, you would have been busted. You would have gone to jail.
Right. Lottery fraud. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Attention business owners, this is John Souza, CEO of ERTC.com. The Employee Retention Tax Credit Program provides up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. If you're confused about the program, stop right now before it's too late. Don't fall for false promises and risk your business. All ERTC companies are not the same. The bottom line, there's no such thing as guaranteed eligibility, and being innovative with tax filings can lead to an audit. At ERTC.com, we won't mislead you to attest to your own eligibility. At ERTC.com, everything is done in-house by expert CPAs, and there's no cost to get started. With the ERTC.com Fast Track Refund Program, you may qualify to get your refund in as soon as 48 hours. Get started today at ERTC.com.
Get your free refund information now. 800-200-4230. 800-200-4230. That's 800-200-4230.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, do you like to save big bucks?
I like big bucks. I cannot lie.
And the other brothers can't deny?
What? You know I don't have any siblings.
Well, let's just say that right now you can save big bucks on major brand tires.
I like big bucks.
And you cannot lie.
Why would I lie, Mike?
Never mind.
Stop by Tire Discounters and save up to $300 big bucks on select major brands, plus a free alignment with any 4-tire purchase.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Get ready, Indiana. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Indiana, trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
For your free system replacement analysis, give Family a call today at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Black Friday at B Window. Up to 52% off, plus 10% in manufacturer rebates on all products for a limited time only. Go to bwindow.com today.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
You know, we could talk about ways to make society safer, ways to make sure everybody is less taxed. We'll get a few comments on social media. We talk about how different things looked in terms of nudity from the 70s and 80s. We got people commenting left and right. Matt Bear is out and Tom Gaines is in. Tom, how are the roads right now?
We got some delays on the north side. 465 eastbound stop and go from Michigan, I-69. 69 southbound delays continue from 96 down into 465. And 65 southbound stop and go 29th to the north split. On the collector northbound, we have a delay from the south split up to about Fletcher. Don't miss the annual B-Window Black Friday sale, up to 52% off products, plus 10% in manufacturer's rebates. No payments, no interest for 20 months. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
63 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Come Monday, it'll be all right.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. That's Jason Hammer right over there. Bill Maher had an interesting guest on his HBO program Friday night, right?
Tony Danza sat down with Bill Maher.
Yeah, I'd watch a Tony Danza Bill Maher interview.
I think I would too. Ted Cruz.
Senator out of Texas.
And it sounded like, I don't want to say bromance was breaking out, but there was an understanding.
I'm not sure which one of us is more frightened at how often we're agreeing.
Well, we are agreeing on free speech.
Yeah, and
that did morph a lot toward the left. I mean, certainly the right does it too. But look, I get a lot of shit from people who say, "Oh, you're so Republican." No, just because I don't get on the crazy train with you, I am, I don't bend the knee.
Well, and look, there's another thing that you have a show where right and left talk to each other.
Yes.
I don't know of another show in television that does that.
No.
I mean, we live in these separate echo chambers.
A lot of hate and vitriol for Ted Cruz on the left. So that's why I'm surprised that Bill Maher had him. I guess I'm not surprised I had him on because there was a lot they were talking about, like they were at one point illegal immigration, right?
Right. So Ted Cruz tried to explain to Bill Maher the Republicans' plan to deal with immigration.
Secure the border, and when you apprehend someone, send them home. When Joe Biden started, we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. And he came in and he immediately reimposed catch and release, and it produced the worst rate of illegal immigration in our nation's history. I spent a lot of time at the border. I go out on midnight patrol with Border Patrol agents.
Really?
Many times. You should come. I'll actually bring you if you're interested in. If you want to see.
No.
I will tell you this, actually, Bill. If you saw what was happening, you would be horrified because the people being abused by the traffickers. You don't understand it till you see it firsthand, and it is immoral what's happening at our southern border.
I take your word.
Okay.
I don't have to go.
But it is easy to fix because what actually worked is we had an agreement with Mexico that was called the Remain in Mexico Agreement, which says that if someone crossed into Mexico illegally from typically Central or South America, they would remain in Mexico while their asylum case was proceeding in the U.S., and the numbers plummeted. We had the lowest rate, as I said, in 45 years, and then Biden came in and ripped that international agreement to shreds, and that's what produced now 8.4 million illegal aliens since Biden's been president.
One of the other things they butted heads on was Bill Maher's big thing about Donald Trump. He hates him. He thinks he's crazy. He thinks he's a nut job. He thinks his supporters are nuts. The election, all right? The election was stolen from me. And that riles Bill Maher up, and so I know we don't have time to play it here, but one of the attempts to call Ted Cruz an election denier, Ted Cruz is like, look, I've never seen you ask Democrats. They objected to the presidential certifications in 2001, 2005, and 2016.
Right.
That's all you need to say to these people when they talk about how crazy Trump is because he wanted an investigation into the outcome of the 2020 election.
Hakeem Jeffries is one of the biggest election deniers out there, and he was rewarded with being the minority leader in the House of Representatives. If you're looking for a reason to drink tonight, Nige,
Always.
it's National Chicken Nugget Day. National Chicken Nugget Day. What is your go-to dipping sauce if you have chicken nuggets? There was a poll out. I want to see what your favorite falls.
Go-to dip, probably ranch.
Ranch came in third on this list.
Really? See, I'm a mixer. I'm a chemist. I'll do ranch and ketchup.
You're like a chemist for fat guys.
Yep.
There was a poll that had about 8,500 people surveyed, and honey mustard came in at number 1, followed by barbecue, then ranch, and then ketchup. So, in honor of Chicken Nugget Day, great moments in chicken nugget history. This was a news story a couple years ago. An elected official in the state of Michigan got popped for a Dewey, and listen to the local Fox affiliate in Michigan break down the reason why.
The arrest of a newly elected local official is raising some eyebrows for what officers claim the man said before they put him in the back of a cop car.
Jeremy Miller, he was just elected in November to represent Montcalm County's 1st District. Now, however, he is facing charges for drunk driving. Police say Miller couldn't walk in a straight line during his field sobriety test. The officer placed Miller in handcuffs, asking him if he knew why he was being arrested. And that is when Miller responded, quote, "Those damn chicken nuggets."
Great moments in chicken nugget history.
That doesn't make sense.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
So many questions when it comes to real estate, buying a home, selling a home, upsizing, downsizing. Mark Dietl knows about it all. Real estate expert. Mark Dietl's the only one I'd trust to sell my home and find me a new one. Jim and Emily in Shelbyville were ready for more space and an upgrade for their family. And they heard about Mark on our show. They were impressed by his aggressive marketing plan, and the home sold in 2 days for cash at asking price.
The only agent that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel Show is Mark Dietl. And the reason why we say that is because of the guarantee. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is the Mark Dietl guarantee. Call for yourself. Set up a time to chat. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. Mark Dietel, markdietl.com.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration.
One of the most important modalities for the disc is decompression therapy.
It's a device that actually will pump the spine, and we use it for the neck, the low back, knees, and hips, and you can use it for all those things. The biggest thing is the hydration of the disc. The main thing that actually gets that hydration in there is that pumping. We've had people who had 70% degeneration in their disc. As we recheck it, like a year later, go from 70% degeneration to 40%, 30%, or even a 20% degeneration.
Wow. It can be reversed.
Which isn't supposed to happen. We've seen it many, many a times and confirmed by the radiologist. The patient looks at it and says, wow, that's amazing.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Diamonds Direct's last and largest sale of the year is this weekend. Get an incredible 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets. Save an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. This is the big one with an expanded selection and in-store designer appearances all weekend. Special financing too. Lowest prices of the year starting Friday. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com. Open this Sunday for this extraordinary once-a-year store-wide event. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Living healthy is challenging, but it starts with one step. Whether you're ready to take that first step or ready to step up to a new level, the Personal Training Experience will help you do it on your schedule in your home. It's a complete fitness solution with a program customized just for you. They provide the equipment and come to you with 100% in-home training. Workouts will always be challenging, but making them work for you doesn't have to be. Start today by signing up for a free in-home workout at thepersonaltrainingexperience.com.
CareSource Marketplace health plans are reliable and predictable. That's important because your life plans are not. CareSource gives you the affordable coverage and premium network to take on whatever comes your way. Emergency services, hospital care, prescriptions, and more. Our plans are simple and affordable because when your life is complicated, it's important that your health insurance is not. For affordable coverage when you need it most, visit caresource.com/marketplace. We got you.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Chris Davis reports on a former IU football player proving his innocence. A 19-year-old's in custody after a fatal shooting in Speedway yesterday, and how cities around Indy are trying to compete with the big city. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
No veto threat yet. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden giving his initial reaction to a new House Republican plan for avoiding a government shutdown.
The president says he's not making a judgment on whether or not to sign a short-term spending bill proposed by House Speaker Mike Johnson.
But let's wait and see what they come up with.
Johnson's plan would create a so-called laddered approach, extending some government funding in the mid-January and the rest in the early February.
I don't know what the outcome is going to be.
The proposal will likely need support from Democrats in the House, as several conservative Republicans have already signaled their opposition.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Despite another possible shutdown showdown, the White House disagrees with Moody's decision to lower its outlook on the federal debt from stable to negative.
The Deputy Treasury Secretary saying this, quote, while the statement by Moody's maintains the United States AAA rating, we disagree with a shift to a negative outlook. The American economy remains strong, and Treasury securities are the world's preeminent safe and liquid asset.
Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn. Moody's is the last of the three major credit rating agencies to keep its AAA credit rating on the U.S. debt after downgrades from Fitch and Standard & Poor's. The White House urging Israel to do more to minimize civilian casualties.
The loss of a single innocent life is a tragedy.
Though National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan also reaffirms U.S. support for Israel's right to defend itself from terrorist attacks as Hamas continues to use civilians as human shields. But Indonesia's president visiting the White House is urging the U.S. to stop what he calls atrocities, saying a ceasefire is a must for the sake of humanity. 20 new charges filed against Danilo Cavalcante, the convicted killer who spent 2 weeks on the run after his August escape from a county jail in Pennsylvania. The charges include burglary, theft, and trespassing. He had already been sentenced to life in prison for killing his ex-girlfriend. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
All thanks to electronic evidence. Sunny with temperatures in the 60s downtown. All clear with a radar low of 31 predicted tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A former football player from Indiana University accused in a Mississippi murder is now off the hook. Chris Davis explains.
Jamison Kelly Jr. walked into a Hinds County, Mississippi courtroom Monday morning in handcuffs, but walked out a free man. That is because the case against he and the accused murderer, Joshua Brown, who are both from South Mississippi, fell apart in the past couple of weeks. Video evidence proving since then that neither man could have been at the scene of the murder when it happened about a month ago on the campus of Jackson State University. It's unclear what his future with IU might be. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A 19-year-old's in custody after the fatal shooting of a 17-year-old in Speedway early Sunday morning. The Marion County Coroner's Office's Caden Clements was shot and killed, and Benjamin Mulkey was ID'd as a suspect. Police say Mulkey lives at the home where the shooting happened, which was in a neighborhood just east of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Mulkey's now in the Marion County Jail. The county prosecutor's office is reviewing formal charges. Burn bans are in effect for South Central central Indiana. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Hoosiers can use some rain, but Andrew White of the National Weather Service says it probably won't rain until Friday.
But that's not going to really be enough to do too much. And really the forecast even after Friday into the weekend looks fairly dry. And
White says you can expect 60s during the day until Wednesday and 30s overnight. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may not need to come to the Circle City to get that big city experience, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business. He says places like Carmel, Westfield, and Noblesville want to become their own entertainment hubs.
Fishers has an arena that's under construction that will be home to the Indy Fuel and to the new indoor football league that has been around for a number of years.
Talking to WIBC's Tony Katz. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. The temperatures are dropping rapidly, and energy costs are on the rise. If you have old, drafty windows, your furnace is working harder than ever to keep your family warm. Why pay unnecessarily high energy bills when Window Nation can help keep you and your family warm all season long, all while lowering your monthly energy costs by up to 30%.
And this month only, Window Nation is offering 0% interest for 5 years. That's 60 months interest free. And get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. Now is the time to protect your family from the elements, lower your energy costs, and upgrade the look and feel of your home. Get 0% interest for 5 years. Plus, 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. Offer only good this month. Call Window Nation right now. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic at 5:05, here's Tom Gaines.
Well, Harrison got a crash now in Pendleton on State Street, just west of US 36. Otherwise, 465 with delays on the west side northbound from 86 to 865. Then it's slow eastbound from Michigan Road over to I-69. 69 southbound is heavy from 96, then to 465. 65 southbound is slow from 29th down to the North Split for about an 8-minute delay. This report brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Remaining mostly clear for tonight are low temperatures in the mid-30s. Tuesday, another day of a lot of sunshine. High temperatures above average around 60. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
He is the minority leader for the Indianapolis City County Council. Brian Mowry joins us. Brian, so tell me about this vote tonight where it sounds like there's going to be a little bit of a property tax hike for the sake of cleanliness and safety downtown. Do I have this right?
Well, thank you first and foremost for having me on today, Hammer and Nigel, and for allowing me to be on with your listeners. To me, that's exactly what it looks like. And one thing I've ran a campaign on and I've continually been opposed to is new taxes. To my understanding, this proposal would create a way for downtown to become more clean and safe. However, the amount of funds they're looking at putting towards it through this seem like they should already be in the budget, not something we have to tax folks extra for.
Well, see, that's what, I was talking about earlier. I'm all for the things that they're talking about here: cleaner downtown, less homeless situations, no aggressive panhandling, crime prevention. I'm here for all of that, but correct me if I'm wrong, a budget recently went through. Why wasn't this part of that?
I don't think you'll hear anybody say that we are not here for a clean, safe downtown, and that's something to keep in mind here is everyone wants a clean, safe downtown. However, you're correct. We just passed a $1.5 billion budget. Where was this at in the budget? Why could this not have been budgeted for? And why are we having to tax people even further? if I was in the mile square, I'd be wondering where my tax dollars are going, actually, if I'm going to be asked to be paid more into this than I already am.
Well, how is it being paid for now?
You and I, your tax dollars. To my understanding, there's been appropriations in the past for these things, some of these initiatives that we've done downtown. But
like the article I read, something about COVID dollars are running out.
Oh yeah, I mean those were those are finite dollars, and we knew those were going to end eventually. So now we have to figure out ways to fund these programs that we. And this is an argument that we brought up back when this happened: is how do we continually fund this?
Right.
And this is now what we're seeing. It's these funds are coming to a sunset, and we're now trying to figure out how we're going to fund these programs we've created.
I mean, I've worked in marketing before, and I've had to put together a budget, and you have a wish list of things that you want, and if that's the case, you have to make cuts somewhere else. It sounds like every business pretty much runs the same way, except for the government at the national and local levels here. Why haven't there been more conversations about cutting some programs for something more important, which that's what this sounds like?
On that level, your guess is as good as mine there. I think that this is something that should be looked at as if we're going to create this, then what else do we have to cut, or how can we fund this in a more creative way with maybe not eliminating a program, but cutting some of the funding to it. These COVID dollars and ARPA dollars are funds that we are getting one time, and this has been my heartburn with all these COVID dollars is that that's a one-time thing. We should not be back in a position where we're getting this kind of money from the federal government. So if we're going to create these programs that folks really like, or that helps keep Indianapolis clean and safe, how are we going to continually fund it?
But it also doesn't seem to me like, Brian, I'm sorry to interrupt. It just doesn't seem to me like the city has been doing they're not doing well at their job to begin with when we're talking about safety and cleanliness and homeless outreach. But you're saying we've still been spending money on it these past years, but it doesn't look like it's been working.
You know, that's one thing I thought would have come up on Tuesday. Last Tuesday on the election was something along those lines. It seems like it's not working, but the ballot box showed otherwise for when folks cast their ballot. You know, I don't agree that they're working because I don't see a change. I don't hear people saying, I'm excited to go downtown and spend my weekend down there, or I'm excited for a day downtown to go out and shop and frequent the stores and the small businesses that we have downtown. Instead, I'm going to go somewhere else.
And Brian, if I understand this correctly, this proposal basically states that a $250 property tax goes on to property owners to pay for this program. Why can't the elected officials, you being one of them, dip into the general fund? Is that allowed? Because, listen, I bet enough on sports that I know my tax dollars are going to the general fund. Sports betting money in Indiana, along with other things, goes into this general fund. We've been beat over the head with the surplus in the state of Indiana from the governor and everybody else. Why can't the biggest city in the state, the financial hub, if you will, reach out and say, hey, instead of taxing the bejesus out of people who are already stretched thin, why can't we dip into one of these different pots?
That's kind of what I was getting to on my opening statements there, Jason, was that I think there's no reason we shouldn't have budgeted for this to begin with. And there's no reason that we have to tax folks to no end. If we're wanting to increase the amount of people that are living downtown and coming downtown and working downtown and having their business open in downtown, I don't think that taxing them to no end is going to be the way to entice people to come downtown and live and have their business. This is something I think should have been budgeted for, not something that we're going to put on the folks of downtown.
But we're seeing this in other cities like San Francisco. Governor Newsom and the city officials there cleaning up, literally wiping homeless people off the street, cleaning up because they're getting ready for all Biden and President Xi and coming in. We saw it like on Monument Circle when the NCAA tournament happened a couple of years ago. Everybody got the streets got cleaned up in the city. It seems like we should be able to do that. If we could do it for certain events or certain leaders coming to town, then why can't we do it every day for the people that live here?
Nigel, you're absolutely right. I'll be honest with you. You lost me when you started to say San Francisco, California.
Yeah.
You lost me a little bit there, but you brought me back in with the Big Ten tournament. You're right, though, at the end of the day. Why can't this be done every day? Because, when I look at San Francisco, I guarantee you within the next, week after everything's all settled, it's going to be right back to where it was.
Yeah.
But why can't we continually have this program in place that's going to help facilitate these folks that have these needs? Your guess is as good as mine. It should have been budgeted for. It's something I think a lot of people have wanted to see, but the city hasn't been there to completely do something like they've done in San Francisco, where they eradicated the homeless problem overnight.
Is it too late, Brian? Because I know this vote happens at tonight's meeting, and I know you, being the Republicans, are completely outnumbered in this thing, but is it too late to kind of pitch to everybody, listen, there are other ways we might be able to move some money around to fix this without raising taxes? Or is this pretty much written in stone, we're about to have our taxes raised?
It's kind of twofold, I would say. I think that you're definitely going to hear that question tonight, as well as you're going to see the response to that question, plus where their priorities are aligned with. And a lot of times, we can be the voice of reason, but that falls on deaf ears. And I would hope that we could come to something tonight where we're not taxing folks. Rather, we're trying to find monies within our own budget to fund this.
I mean, even if I'm a Democrat, Brian, if I'm a Democrat on the council, they could do a victory lap on this too. We're cleaning up downtown. We're not raising your taxes. I mean, I think that's something everybody should be able to come to the table on, I would think.
You and I both. I would think that would be exactly something we come to the table on. However, we've seen what's happened of late, and I don't know that that's going to be something that's actually considered. The fact that it wasn't considered already in the budget is alarming to me to begin with.
Brian Mowry, he is the minority leader for the Indianapolis City County Council representing District 25. Counselor, thank you so much for your time, and keep us up to date on what happens tonight.
Thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, let's take a look at the roads. What's going on out there?
Oh, we're watching delays on the south side. For one, 465 eastbound is stop and go from Kentucky over to Harding. That's about a 5-minute delay. On the north side, 69 southbound stop and go for 106th on the 465. That's about 8 minutes worth of slow traffic. And pretty jammed up still on I-65 southbound. It's stop and go from 29th down to Meridian for about a 6-minute delay. This report brought to you by Mattress Firm. It's your lucky day at Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus score a $300 instant gift. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
60 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Are not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Bills piling up? Rent due? Just need some extra cash to get by? Then you need to go to thinkwallet.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $25,000 in minutes. No need to search through endless loan sites or filling out tons of forms. Thinkwallet.com is one of the largest personal loan marketplaces with over 100 lenders for all credit types. Whether you have good credit or it needs work, thinkwallet.com can help you get the money you need fast. Just fill out the quick form and get approved for up to $25,000 in minutes. There's no paperwork to submit. You can do it right from your phone. Best part? The money can be in your bank account as soon as the next day. Whether you need money for bills, an emergency, or whatever reason, thinkwallet.com can help you get the money you need regardless of your credit history. When you need extra cash, go to thinkwallet.com. That's thinkwallet.com. Thinkwallet.com.
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
The program begins in summer of 2024. Call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
When it comes to illegal immigration, there's only one true conservative running for U.S. Senate this year. That's Trump-endorsed Jim Banks. Jim Banks has a plan, and it's simple. If you're caught in this country illegally, you're sent back to where you came from. Got that? No? Okay, well, let me repeat it. When Jim Banks is the senator, his policy on illegal immigration will be as follows. If you're in the country illegally, you're going back to where you came from. Mi casa is no longer tu casa, my friends. Jim Banks, Army veteran, Trump endorsed. A simple plan for dealing with illegal immigration. Jim Banks for U.S. Senate. American Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
It's the season of giving, and my friends at Hope Plumbing are joining the fun. Hey, Pat Sullivan here. During the months of November and December, get a free water softener with the purchase of a tankless water heater. You heard that correct. A free water softener with the purchase of a tankless heater, only at Hope Plumbing. Be the most liked family member and give the gift of endless soft and hot water this winter. Visit hopeplumbing.com for all their holiday specials, or give them a call at 641-HOPE.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Okay, Hammer. Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom. Some think he might be running for president here before too long. Anyway, Newsom is admitting to, quote, cleaning up San Francisco ahead of President Xi Jinping's visit.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true. Okay. But it's also true for months and months and months prior to APEC, we've been having different conversations.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Are you okay with this?
No, because that soundbite right there just goes to show that the governor of your state cares more about world leaders than he does the people living there every day.
Communist world leaders accused of genocide.
Right. The only reason they're cleaning it up is President Xi is coming with his good time party boys. Had he not been on the way or en route, it'd be needles and poop as far as the eyes could see. But here's the thing. This isn't an old trick. Hell, Hogset does that here when we host the Final Four or big events. They hop all the homeless folks on a bus and they make their way to a hotel around Central Indy. Listen to this. This is the Democrat mayor from L.A., Karen Bass, basically saying that what their city is going to do is lease out entire hotels so the homeless camps can just all move in together.
Well, what we're doing is that we are leasing motel rooms. It's a very expensive model, so we're getting ready to master lease, which means we lease the entire motel and we go to the encampments, which are a series of tents. And what I think the general public might not realize is that in order to survive on the street, people create communities. And so instead of splitting them up, we move the entire community inside. A community-based organization takes over and provides the services.
Wow.
It's the oldest trick in the book.
Are you okay with this? Controversial soccer star Megan Rapinoe says her injury in her farewell game is proof that there is no God.
I mean, I'm not a religious person or anything. And if there was a God, this is proof that there isn't. This is up. So, yeah, it's just because 6 minutes in, eat my Achilles. I mean, what the
Megan Rapinoe, last game of her career, says proof there isn't a God because she was injured. Are you okay with this?
No, and here's the thing. I don't give a blue rat's rear end what Megan Rapinoe thinks about religion or anything. I really don't. My problem lies with how many farewell games has this awful woman had? She's had more farewell tours than Kiss. I thought when she choked in the World Cup, that was supposed to be her farewell game. And now I'm being told this is her farewell game.
And again, she's wholly unlikable. She's an anthem kneeler. She's, one of these people, the privileged white woman that says America is an oppressive country, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Maybe finally she'll go away and fade into oblivion like Colin Kaepernick and everybody else who feels they're super oppressed in this country, and we never have to hear from them again.
I love this. The UFC fight over the weekend in New York City, Madison Square Garden. Trump rolling up with Tucker Carlson, Kid Rock Jr., and Dana White. Here it is.
Listen to that crowd reaction.
The USA. Playing American Badass from Kid Rock in the background. Huge reaction there, Madison Square Garden, where I thought New Yorkers didn't like Donald Trump. Hammer is this anything?
Yes, this is something. Pass me that tinfoil hat that's right next to you.
Let me try to get that. Okay.
Let me grab that from you. Yeah. Let me put this tinfoil hat right here on my head. The reason this is something, Donald Trump is kicking the tires to see the reaction of Tucker Carlson with him because he's thinking about him as a vice presidential candidate.
Oh, wow.
That's the tinfoil hat.
Oh, yeah. Pull that thing down on tight.
I'm going to cut eye holes in it and pull it down all over my head. I'm not saying he's the front runner because I do think Donald Trump probably needs a woman, maybe a person of color. But could you imagine head spinning around if Donald Trump came out and said, my running mate is Tucker Carlson? How would Fox cover that? Because he can't be on Fox, right? Per their own wishes. So maybe, just maybe, there's a little something to this. But for New York City, the liberal hotbed of America, that's a pretty strong ovation.
Michigan interim head coach. This guy had a very emotional interview following a win over Penn State on live TV. This is because Harbaugh has been, has he been suspended until further notice because of some cheating allegations? Here is what's his name?
Sharon Moore.
Okay, here we go. Post game.
To win on the road in this environment when there were doubts. Sharon, what does it mean to you?
want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. I love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. This is for you. For this university, the president, our AD, we got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These guys right here. These guys right here, man. These guys did it.
That was on live TV after Michigan beat Penn State.
Regular Fox. Early afternoon game, mind you.
Are you okay with that reaction?
No, because he's making it sound like they're the victims in this whole situation. You were the ones that got caught cheating. And when you listen to some of these Michigan people speak, whether it's Coach Moore or like the university president, they're making it sound like Harbaugh's dead. Like they're crying, all the well wishes are coming in. He's fine. He's making a lot of money. They just got busted cheating.
My favorite part of the audio is the first person he thanked was the Lord. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. And I effing love you, Harbaugh.
Can you play it again one more time?
Real quick.
To win on the road in this environment when there were doubts. Sherm, what does it mean to you?
Very emotional.
I want to thank the Lord.
There it is.
Yeah, and at that point I thought, okay, yeah, he's going to start singing, give all credit to the Lord up above and his son Jesus Christ.
Thank Coach Harbaugh. I love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. This is for you.
That's great.
That's a great reaction, but you guys are not the victims here. Let's make that perfectly clear. All right, we have got Mock on the way. Moonshine Monday on the way. Right now, let's take a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why a campfire is a bad idea. Clear skies and 58 degrees in the circle. Nothing on a radar. Low of 31 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. Burn bans are in effect across south central Indiana. The state could use some rain, but Andrew White with the National Weather Service says that probably won't happen until maybe Friday.
But that's not going to really be enough to do too much. And really the forecast, even after Friday into the weekend, looks fairly dry.
White says expect temperatures down in the 30s tonight. President Biden wants more effort in freeing hostages and minimizing civilian deaths in Gaza. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
President Biden says he has an expectation there will be less intrusive action near Shifa Hospital and is in contact with Israeli officials.
So I remain somewhat hopeful, but the hospital must be protected.
Fighting between Hamas terrorists and Israeli forces have left Shifa without electricity or water, and thousands of civilians have had to flee. The president also says there is an effort to extend pauses in fighting as part of a deal to release hostages held in Gaza that is being led by Qatar. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Donald Trump Jr. on his way out of court today.
It doesn't feel like, we're playing by the rules. We're playing by a one-sided system of justice.
He testified for the second time in the Trump Organization civil fraud trial in New York today. The family is accused of inflating their wealth to get better loan agreements. Indianapolis is a convention city, which brings in millions of dollars every year. Donnie Burgess reports a few more big cities want a piece of that action.
The goal for cities like Carmel, Fishers, and Noblesville is to knock Indy down a peg or two and show they too can be one-stop shops for business and entertainment.
Indianapolis is the major magnet. But these communities in the donut counties around Indianapolis are now realizing, or have been realizing, I think, for some time, they can create their own picture. They can create their own quality of life.
Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business on WIBC's Tony Katz. He says the expansion of event centers and major sports in Hamilton County is one of the best examples of economic competition within the donut counties. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
With traffic at 5:31, here's Tom Gaines.
Delays there on 69 southbound. That's about the worst of it. It's stop and go from just past 116th down to 465. 12 minutes worth of stop and go traffic for you. Also on the north side, 465 eastbound is heavy from Meridian over to Allisonville for a 7-minute delay. A pretty solid slow going on 65 southbound from 29th to West Street. That stretch will take you about 10 minutes to get through. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Remaining mostly clear for tonight are low temperatures in the mid-30s. Tuesday, another day of a lot of sunshine.
High temperatures above average around 60. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
One half of the Chicks on the Right program, Mock, joins us. Mock, a number of things to touch on here, but first, late last night we found out that Tim Scott is going to pack it up, pack it in. He will not be a nominee for president this year. Your thoughts?
He is just the dearest, sweetest, most precious candidate ever.
Yep. I call him the happy warrior.
Right. I mean, he's impossible to dislike. And it was interesting because we played his announcement on the Trey Gowdy show on our show this morning, and it was such a clear shock to Trey Gowdy. And apparently it was also a shock to many of Tim Scott's own staffers who were not at all prepared for that announcement.
Wow.
I think it's, I think it was inevitable. And so I don't know what made the timing the way that it was. But it does position him, I suppose, as a potential VP sidekick to Donald Trump.
Yep.
And so we'll have to see. Does he pick him? Does he pick Vivek? Who does he pick?
Chris Christie. How is that guy still in the race? Like, seriously, what is Chris Christie's function?
Either.
What is Chris Christie's function in this whole thing now? It's anti-Trump, never Trump donors backing him, wanting him to stay in the race?
I guess. And now I don't even know how necessary that'll be, since this No Labels party is, potentially they're looking at like a Romney and Manchin ticket. I mean, everything is getting so crazier, I guess I should say, with this election.
So let's go back to that running mate discussion here for a second. Again, it seems like every election cycle, we always make a big deal of who's going to be the running mate, and it never really matters. It never really moves the needle. But for, blanks and giggles here, Tim Scott could be a candidate. I think Kristi Noem makes a lot of sense. What about you, Mock?
Yeah, I think if Trump chooses someone like a Tim Scott or like a Kristi Noem, people who have been very effective in their roles, whether it's been as a senator in Tim Scott's case or a governor in Kristi Noem's case, I think he'll be fine. I think he would do well to stay away from people who are literal carbon copies of himself. So when he looks at a Carrie Lake or a Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think those would be terrible mistakes, and I think it's going to make it harder for people who are currently really reluctantly going to vote for Donald Trump. That could potentially put them over the edge, where they're just like, no, I need somebody that's going to balance him out and not just be like a Trump light version of him.
I think Vivek, I don't know that he'd take the role. Like, he has already said he's not doing this to come in second place, but when push comes to shove, do you think if Trump asked Vivek, would Vivek say yes?
I think he probably would,
Really?
and I think Vivek would end up driving Trump absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
I don't see them working well together at all.
I don't either.
Because Vivek, he's just way too, he's definitely his own person, and he's not going to be like, if Trump picked Tim Scott, Tim would fall in line. Like, Tim is going to do what Trump wants him to do. I think he's just, I hate to say it, but I think he'd probably be more of a doormat. I don't see Vivek doing that at all. So I think he would stand up to Trump, and I don't think Trump would like it.
On the subject of the 2024 election, some new polling came out, and it's something that we've been talking about for a while, and I know you ladies have as well. The Republicans are going to have an RFK Jr. problem if this momentum continues. The new polling shows that as RFK Jr.'s popularity goes up, it's stealing away from Donald Trump and not Joe Biden, Mock.
Yeah, it's true. And this has been a concern from the get-go. In fact, we played a little clip from RFK Jr.'s Veterans Day ad that he put out over the weekend, and it was very much targeted to people who are sick and tired of the United States getting involved in wars overseas, whether it's Ukraine, whether it's Israel, whether it's whatever. They're just tired of, these are people that are very America first. They want to deal with our borders, not Ukraine's borders. They want to deal with our borders, borders over Israel's borders. And so you could tell that he was really speaking to them and talking directly about the fact that when he's president, he's going to return the military to its proper function, which is to defend the homeland and not the lands of everybody else. So for people on the Republican side who are sick and tired of the United States being so involved in these overseas conflicts, that's going to be music to their ears. And it's once again, I think that's going to hurt Trump more than it does Biden.
And the problem that I'm seeing right now is that the Republican Party is not doing a very good job of highlighting what RFK Jr. is really about. So if you're somebody that is a Republican, but you don't like Donald Trump, if you're one of these never Trump Republicans, you're hitching your wagon to RFK Jr., he's not your friend. He is not a Republican. He is not conservative in any way. He might not like giving all your money to Ukraine, but let's not get it twisted here. This isn't like some opposite choice for conservatives.
No, it's not at all. In fact, he's pretty rabid when it comes to climate change. There's viral videos of him going around from years ago, and I don't know how much he's changed his mind on this, but he's talked about the government having control over every individual household's electricity. So being able to turn that off and on with some sort of a nationwide grid. He's talked about severe consequences for climate deniers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some really crazy out there leftist ideas, and people need to remember that. Because for the people that are super never Trump, I think, now that there's talk about a Joe Manchin or a Mitt Romney potentially getting on a no labels ticket, that fear, they're going to hitch their wagon to somebody like that over RFK. But all of this is just making it clear that this is going to be the most bizarre and crazy election ever.
I thought the GOP debate last week was probably one of the craziest ever and the best out of the three so far. I know they have another debate scheduled. Megyn Kelly is going to be moderating that debate. But, I mean, look, it was the Vivek Ramaswamy show last, what was it, Wednesday, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah. How'd you think he did? What did you think of that whole process?
I will say that was the first debate where I was ever just irritated at Vivek. I loved the opening when he went after the moderators and when he went after Ronna specifically. I was cheering for that. But I also hated the bitchy fights that he was having with Nikki Haley. There was something about him on that night that I just thought was too mean and too bitchy. You know what I mean? I just didn't like him as much. And I don't know. That was a turnoff to me. And it was interesting because I thought, based on the clips that I saw, I thought just like you that, everybody's going to say that he won handily. But that wasn't what the polls were saying. It was, there were a lot of the mainstream media outlets were like, oh, Nikki won that or Ron DeSantis won that. But they were actually saying that Vivek went in too hard. So I don't know. I mean, I personally was put off by him a little bit, except for his opening. But then again, I think everybody knows that I'm pretty solidly in DeSantis's camp. So maybe my judgment was. And
I thought DeSantis had a really good night.
Yeah, I thought so too. He's always strong.
Chatting with Mock from the Chicks on the Right program. So that debate happened basically 24 hours after election night in America. What I've seen across this country, Mock, is ever since Roe was scaled back from the Supreme Court, Republicans have had their ass handed to them when it comes to the abortion issue. And right now, they're not doing a very good job of explaining their positions, why they feel this way. Is abortion going to be the downfall of Republicans in the next couple of elections?
Well, I mean, if the prior elections where pro-choicers have won in the last several elections, if they're any indication, then we're screwed, because this is just an absolute losing issue for Republicans. And unfortunately, I do think Nikki is probably the least divisive on this issue. I think there's going to be more independents who are like, okay, I can respect what she's saying, which is that this is a states' right issue, and we've seen states that they've done what they're going to do, and this is appropriately where that issue belongs. But man, I mean, when every single candidate gets asked what they would do at a national level, and there's no cohesive message,
right,
then Republicans are going to lose every single time.
And the polling clearly shows that head to head, Donald Trump against Joe Biden without a third party, Donald Trump is doing incredibly well right now. But the polling about abortion is total opposite. So I see a country that likes Donald Trump, but they don't like what the Republican Party under him is kind of saying when it comes to abortion. So whose fault is this? Is this Ronna McDaniel's fault? Is this Donald Trump's fault? Who has to circle the wagons here and get Republicans to say, all right, this is how we're going to handle this. These are the talking points moving forward.
Well, this is going to be super interesting considering that it was Trump's Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe. And so he wants to be able to take credit for that. And I've seen him take credit for that. And he probably gets credit for that. Like, he's the one that got these, very pro-life justices in the Supreme Court. But now that he probably already sees that this is a losing issue for Republicans, he is going to have to set the tone on messaging, because he's the one essentially who is responsible for Roe being turned over. So while he takes credit for that, he's also going to have to try to appeal to the people that you're talking about who are adamantly against the fact that Roe got turned over. And so how he balances that when he goes forward through the campaigns, that's going to have to set the tone. And he's the only one that can do it. So how his team has been instructing him to manage that, I have no idea. It's going to be really, really interesting to see him try to distance himself, like he has been, from DeSantis, who said, this is a 6-week ban in Florida. He's trying to say that was a really stupid thing, but at the same time take credit for overturning Roe. So I don't know how he's going to walk both sides of this fence.
She is one half of the Chicks on the Right program. They do an awesome program every day. Follow them on social media. Mock, thank you.
Thank you. It's always great.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Name one small insurance company. Couldn't think of one, could you? Didn't think so. Most insurance companies are big, really big. They have thousands of lawyers. Imagine it's a beautiful day, sun is shining, birds singing. You're on your way to work, and then bam, your whole life changes in that second. Forever. You're injured, and now you have to fight for justice or live your life in pain. Let me give you some straight talk. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. Over $1 billion in one case alone. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
That kitchen or bath remodel you've been ready to start? With inflation rising, waiting is just going to make it more expensive. Start that remodel today. Hey, it's Tony Katz for Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. Get on the schedule now to avoid some of those price increases. Booher Remodeling is the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Go to BooherRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation. BooherRemodeling.com.
Well, it's all in the numbers when we're talking about Window Nation. That number could be 5 years, 0% financing, the deal going on right now, or we could be talking about how they installed over 200,000 windows last year, which is 40 times more than the average window company. I am a very happy Window Nation customer, and apparently so are you. Over 10,000 online positive reviews. My mom needed new windows in her kitchen, and she got this amazing deal that Hammer's going to tell you about.
Now, this is a deal. 0% interest for 5 years. And that's on top of the existing deal where you buy 2 windows and you get 2 for free. And there's no limit. The more windows you buy, the more free ones you get. And oh, by the way, 5 years, 0 interest. 866-90-NATION. Call Window Nation and lock this deal in. You'll hate if you miss out. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Diamonds Direct's last and largest sale of the year is this weekend. Get an incredible 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets. Save an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. This is the big one with an expanded selection and in-store designer appearances all weekend. Special financing too. Lowest prices of the year starting Friday. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com. Open this Sunday for this extraordinary once-a-year store-wide event. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Shop the Black Friday sale now at Grand Appliance for the lowest prices of the year all November long. Visit grandappliance.com for the lowest appliance prices.
Give family a call for your family maintenance plan, 317-577-8077. Maintenance is crucial.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Satch Vai, Joe Satriani, and Steve Vai U.S. Tour Sunday, April 21st at Old National Center.
All right, Matt Bear is out, but we got Tom Gaines filling in. Tom, what's going on?
Well, guys, got a crash now on the I-70 westbound ramp to Ronald Reagan Parkway. Left lane of the ramp is blocked with emergency crews. Traffic does get by, but it is slow. Pretty solid delay also on 65 southbound. Stop and go 29th to Meridian. And 69 southbound still heavy from about 116th down to 465 for a 9-minute delay. North side 465 eastbound. Heavy Keystone to Ellison Road. Don't miss the annual B Window Black Friday sale. Up to 52% off all products plus 10% manufacturer's rebates, no payments, no interest for 20 months. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Tom Gaines. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates. WIBC Traffic.
60 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And it takes me back to a simpler place and time.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello. Let the moon shine. Hammer is providing the libations today for Moonshine Monday. I'm a little scared here.
So, last month or so, we've had a variety of different shines. Some of them stronger than others, right?
Yes.
A lot of the flavor stuff isn't the strongest.
Yeah, like last week we did pumpkin spice moonshine.
Right.
It was good.
Good cocktail.
Yeah, but not like...
Not going to make you go blind.
I'm going to put hair on your peaches or anything like that.
So, man, I'm not going to lie. I've had a rough, long week, and I wanted something that had a little kick to it.
Oh, boy.
I wanted something that had a little punch to it.
Oh, boy.
So, Nige, I'm going to slide this bad boy over to you.
Old Smoking Moonshine Original.
100
okay.
proof.
100 proof.
Some of the flavor stuff could be around 50
this
proof,
is
35.
This is the no frills moonshine. This is the stuff that's going to go. Right. All right, let me pour you one here.
Again, thank you to everybody that reached out to our family.
Yeah.
Had a loss in the family. My wife has been under some stress. So, to loved ones, man.
Cheers to you.
Thank you.
Cheers to you guys.
Cheers. Whoa! Woo! Whoa, baby! Kathy Dilk Brown, this one's for you, baby girl.
Oh, my gosh.
Little Old Smoky from Gatlinburg. Original, no flavor, 100 proof.
Wow. That was, you weren't kidding, were you?
Takes the edge off, my friend.
All right, we are back next hour. More of the Hammer and Nigel Show to come. 93 WIBC. Ow, wow, that was... Some more of that.
saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Terry Stacy here. It's holiday time, and that means honey baked ham. Slow smoked for 24 hours, spiral sliced for easy serving, then fire glazed right in the store to create that sweet, crunchy glaze they're famous for. Honey Baked makes it easy to serve family and friends the best with holiday meal bundles that include turkey or ham, delicious sides, and decadent desserts. Taste the Honey Baked tradition with 2 Central Indiana locations, West 96th Street and Michigan Road, and East Greyhound Pass in Carmel.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. When it comes to your well, preventive maintenance is the key to safe and reliable water. C&J is offering their well cleaning special, and it's a deal that really helps improve the quality of the water you consume every day. To prevent problems, you simply must do a bacteria sampling, amps test on the pump, switch analysis, pressure tank check, piping exam, and a flow evaluation. Clean your well to protect the water you drink, bathe in, and wash your clothes. Call C&J to keep your water source safe, sanitary, and reliable. 317-852-WELL.
Can you trust the government to protect you? We have political chaos, high inflation, global wars, no border protection, and our leadership telling you about pronouns in electric cars. It's time to take a hard look at protecting yourself and your family. It's time to call Oxford Gold Group. Whether you want to diversify against inflation or have gold on hand, you need to visit jessekellygold.com. Protect yourself with a visit to jessekellygold.com. That's jessekellygold.com.
I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs. Winning for my clients is so important to me because I know what they're going through. I was in a wreck myself back in 2015. I've been there, and I'll be there for you. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Diamonds Direct's last and largest sale of the year is this weekend. Get an incredible 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets. Save an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. This is the big one with an expanded selection and in-store designer appearances all weekend. Special financing too. Lowest prices of the year starting Friday. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com. Open this Sunday for this extraordinary once-a-year store-wide event. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture Mattress in Columbus. Our Black Friday blowout sale is here. Lazy Boy sofas start at $8.99. Lazy Boy recliners starting at $4.85. Save up to $1,500 on Smith Brothers sectionals and up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Low price, guarantee, free delivery, interest-free financing. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture Mattress in Columbus.
Discover wants everyone to feel special with live 24/7 customer service. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio, brought to you by Everwise Credit Union. Discover the financial solutions to control your money and your business at everwisecu.com. I'm Kate Sharon. Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen says the planned 120,000 square foot Noblesville Event Center brings his city into the fold as Central Indiana grows its reputation as a sports leader in the Midwest. Officials broke ground last week on the 3,400-seat arena, which will serve as the home of the Indiana Pacers G League team, as well as entertainment, meetings, and other sporting events.
We're glad to be a part of it. We're glad of not only what the Pacers bring, but what other opportunities that arena can bring as well.
The arena is part of a much bigger picture in Noblesville. It will serve as a signature anchor for Innovation Mile, a 600-acre live-work-play development along I-69 that is expected to leverage more than $500 million in private investment. Coaster Metals Incorporated, a metal fabrication company in the Steuben County town of Fremont, is under new ownership. The company has been acquired by Iowa-based Distinctive Manufacturing Group, though financial terms are not being disclosed. Coaster Metals was founded in 1975. The company provides fabrication as well as contract manufacturing, powder coating and finishing, and automation services for original equipment manufacturers. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The Talent Resource Navigator is a free online tool that offers the convenience of one-stop shopping for education and job training opportunities. It's supported by on-demand customer service and technical assistance. The Navigator intentionally guides and connects individuals and employers with a tailored set of talent development resources based on each user's identified needs. Get started today at talentresourcenavigator.com.
The lowest number of Hoosiers in recent history got injured or sick at work last year, according to a survey from the U.S. Department of Labor's Bureau of Labor Statistics.